Welcome to Sir King's Thunder, where me and a bunch of my nerdy ass friends get together and we play Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons
Dungeons
and
and
Dragons!
Dragons. Tonight we are in session 10 of our campaign, Storm King's Thunder, and where we last left off, our adventurous friends had discovered the abbot of Goldenfields, as well as the captain of the guard, Strog, Thunderblade, and we're able to have some parley with him and attempt to work out some alliances unsuccessfully for the time being. Strog proved himself to be an ass, and the abbot seemed to be a friendly figure who seemed reasonable. After returning back to the inn and speaking with some of the townsfolk and discussing their expertise, you made your way out, and Oren and Davos had several drinks into the early hours of the morning, upon which a multitude of shadowy figures emerged from the wheat fields, ogres, bugbears, and goblins, that you aligned with the townspeople and made very short work of. After that, following Xi's lead of heading back through the trails in the wheat to the wall where they had entered, you found several more creatures who were raiding the supplies, stealing livestock and food stores, and generally making off with all the food they could carry. And then after which, Davos sprinted off toward the eastern gate, or western gate that you had initially entered from, spurred on by some sensation he maybe couldn't quite describe. For upon arriving, found two large hill giants, thick, immense, bulbous, like patches of hair across the chest, wearing practically scraps, little more than a loincloth, thick patches of fur on the arms, part bald, and just incredibly disgusting. I cannot emphasize that word enough. Just absolutely revolting creatures by smell, by sight, by sound, all of it. Speaking these weird-ass Cajun accents. After Davos arrived at the scene and intercepted them on their way to steal the offerings that were on the statue of Shanti in the 2 cornucopia that she carries, his amulet erupted this enormously bright light. Just as the dawn broke behind you guys, you come up and see sort of like a solar flare in front of you, and then the beams of dawn coming from your backs and striking into the eyes of the giant as well with this radiant light that Davos produced, earning him the title Dawnbringer from his god Lathander. This was enough to blind the giants, and he was able to use those key moments to inflict some very heavy damage as the rest of you rush up and arrive. Some of you in fairly decent fighting order, some of you in the lesser half of your health pool. And that, my good friends, is where we're going to pick up tonight's session. As I mentioned earlier, your broken hearts are all people who are pretty wounded. So
Yeah.
do you guys want to decide now if you want to use them or not, or just for initiative purposes?
Oh.
Because if Valkyr is... The NPCs are fairly easy, but...
I'm cool with it if the NPCs sit out. We just want to take party members in, but that's kind of up to y'all. I get it, Desmond, if you want to take Saphyne in, because she's got, both of you actually, your followers have some dope spells.
True facts. And Liverlass is pretty stout. I'm not saying these people are going to die easily, but some of them are starting off and, you can choose to leave all of them or just the injured ones behind.
Yeah, I can do it either way. It doesn't really matter to me.
We can leave the injured ones out.
Yeah, but does that include Valkyr?
That's up to you. I'm assuming the 3 followers, yes. What do you guys feel about him?
He's basically NPC now, huh? Heck that guy.
Ooh. Wow.
Why? Well, see, on my character
sheet,
looking at his character sheet, it says it doesn't show any damage. What is he at?
Oh, I think I have it marked here. 21. He's at half health, or a little under. He's like 39, I think.
I think we should take him. Maybe leave Bergen. Bergen has 8 hit points.
I will say that we can do the prayer of healing, because most of you probably could use that anyway. Devin, do me a favor. From Bergen's sheet, roll a con save for me.
Hurt. Did you say save?
Yes, yes, sir. Sorry, had to think about that. Decide which one I wanted.
My apologies.
Much
Glad I got
better.
to. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll the health for at whatever spell you want to use it. Knowing Spencer, you could use it at max level if you wanted to, and I think you would be. He seems to do a lot of that. I almost feel
I'm gonna
bad for him
use it.
sometimes.
I'm gonna use it at second level, but oh, that's not upcasting it. No, I'm not gonna use this last third level spell slot. I'll cast it at
Second,
second level. Oh wow, so that's
20
two.
points. You get 6 people.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cast that again.
It is 6 people. Yeah.
What is it? Oh wow, so everybody that wants it can have 20 hit points of healing.
Will somebody run Valkyr?
I've got him pulled
Or
up.
excuse me, Valkyr, Davos, or Bergen. If anybody wants to jump on any of those, I'll take whoever we cannot get covered.
Yeah, I'll take whatever. I don't have their. I think I have control of them now.
If you go onto the D&D Beyond page, you should be able to see their accounts, and you can open
You
them.
can't.
It's not on roll.
Yeah,
20,
you can't necessarily change their hit points, and I don't think it lets you mark off things.
which I'll do.
But you
here.
can roll. But you can roll out of it.
Yeah.
So take whoever you want. I've got them all three pulled up. But
I'll
you know,
take
it's-
Davos since.
Okay.
And,
If you
Bergen, I guess.
oh, heard. Please move Valkyr.
Okay.
Cool.
And I have Talaband up too in case we need him.
I'm still working on it.
Gotcha.
Heard. I'll go ahead
Let
and
me
get
check one thing
Talaband
real quick.
pulled up too.
So we have Saphyne.
Oh, you need initiative rolls.
So we have Saphyne, whose Tally is running, and Naxine, who Zatari is running, and then Goldbrand is running Liver Loss, so we have all of our NPCs covered. Okay. Alright. With that, boys, let's go ahead and roll some initiative.
All right, here's Goldbrands. Here's Valkyrs. I got to good old liver loss. Oh wow, liver loss rolled a 1.
Oh, and I meant to delete that. Sorry, there's a bunch of where it says player characters where I was going to mark initiative for all of them, but I just decided to do that on your player count, which I prefer.
All right.
Oh, good. And Davos
Oh,
rode fairly
boy.
well on that. So Davos has actually already done some damage before you guys arrived. He did 2 rounds. So he did 1 surprise round, and this first move of his is going to be what he did scripted last time. Just so you guys are, we're going to skip over him for this round because he's already made his move, quote unquote. And with that, boys, we're going to get down to business.
Yikes.
First, Hill Giant B, Beaudreau, as you heard his compatriot calling him, in this very thick, dull Cajun drawl, which hopefully I'm not butchering too bad. And he is going to actually take 2 steps forward. He has 10-foot reach too. 5, 10. Yeah, he's going to take 2 steps forward, and he's going to go and swing at our good friend Davos. Ooh, a 19, which with the modifier certainly does hit. That's going to deal 15 damage to Davos. I did give him the temp HP because his character was at about half-ish health. So there is that.
Did you see my initiative rolls, Joey, or no?
I see you toward the bottom. Let me see. Where does it have you?
I rolled a 20 for Zatari and a 16 for Bergen.
I am not seeing either of those. 16
Also
for Bergen,
seasons.
20 for Atari.
It says
I
over it,
see
you
now.
wanted to send the result of this roll to the turn tracker, but no valid token was selected. I don't know if I did something wrong.
No, that's weird. I'll pop you guys in. Run through them again, Goldbrand. What did you get? For some reason, it
Goldbrand.
didn't-
Sorry, I rolled a bunch back to back to back. Goldbrand got an 18. Valkyr got a 21.
The web pages are slowly loading, but you guys can roll initiative for me.
I got you. I got you.
He gets a +3.
Taliban rolled a 22. Did you see that? Oh, I saw a bunch of rolls for
22.
Tally.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't think it went through. 22. Sweet. You boys rolled very well.
None of these have my name on them. They must have all been yours. Interesting. Oh no, here I rolled a 7. I see.
All right.
Oh,
So that actually
boy.
swaps up initiative a good bit.
Decisions. Does the group have any input or suggestions or thoughts on Goblin? Like, you want me DPS? You want me to try to patch people up? I feel like Bergen helped us out a good bit.
Did you guys
I think
add
you need
20 points, by the way, to the NPCs y'all picked up?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got... Most of them are pretty good. Live or Lost could use it. Alright, so we're actually going to start with Taliban. I'm going to put that damage back on Davos. Tally, what you want to do, main?
Is there any way somebody with D&D, I mean, Roll20 up can share their screen briefly?
Oh, yeah, sure, dude.
If that doesn't
I
work out, we
I launched
try
the
next.
campaign, but it's still just like loading up.
New Christmas theme bullshit.
Yeah, bah humbug, motherfuckers.
Bum, bum, ba, ba, bum.
I love that you're getting in the spirit. It is dumping snow in the park, and it is going to continue.
We haven't had any snow here this year. We probably
Yeah.
won't.
I don't know, last year we had a white Christmas, which was nice.
That was cool.
Like, started snowing on Christmas, which was nice.
Nah, it snowed all night the day before Christmas.
Was it all night? I think you're right.
Because we got up the next day to had to go to my parents' house to eat. Had the truck or whatever. All the roads
Mm.
were white.
Fun shit. What you want to do, Tally? If you can... can you see that, by the way, the screen share?
It's like very slowly loading up.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably...
Who am I close to? Which one of the giants am I close to?
You're
Both.
all of you are a safe distance from both of them. You're at least 30, 40 feet.
Then I'll probably
Kanifi.
primary psionic dagger attack and the bonus attack as well on the one that Brandon has already damaged.
Okay. Did that roll 2?
Is that one already on him? Like, is it near him?
Yeah, they're both about 10 feet away from him.
Okay, I believe that would then be actually instead of the did you roll damage or it's a hit already? Anyway?
I rolled to hit one of the primary attacks hit. Did you want to do your bonus action with that one as well? Do not have
so you haven't rolled the second attack?
I've rolled both attacks for your action, but not the one for your bonus action.
Okay. Bonus action, I'll transfer Hunter's Mark to the one that I'm attacking.
Okay.
And that should be it.
Okay.
I'm assuming sneak attack for being close to my ally as well.
I think they have to be close to your ally, yes? An ally
Is he not?
He is about 10 feet away from Davos.
Okay.
They have to be within
Word.
5, right? For sneak.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. You also have Miss Saphyne. I don't know if you have her spell slots that we used from last week or not, but
yeah, is she the other giant? It's totally untouched, right? Like it hasn't been damaged at all.
It was damaged a little bit as you guys first approached, and the initial blinding flash of radiant light, but Davos did not strike it. He struck the other one, I think, 4 times.
Okay, Saphyne would then choose to polymorph that one.
Oh, get it. Into?
I imagine she would go for possum because all 3 of them are Cajun at this point.
Opossum stat block. Here we go. This isn't a homebrew set.
Oh,
but
I'm
I'll take
getting-
it.
I'm getting the stream now. Thank you.
Oh, bless. Sweet. Well, good. All right, so Opossum. Huh. Okay. Well, we are going to shrink this big boy way down. So this little blue dot, you watch as Saphyne says some Cajun, has this sort of drawl and infernal, actually, and swirls her hands about and grows and grows and grows before she swooshes it down, and the immense form of this giant compresses, the hair seeming to stay the same as the mass just flushed together, and comes out a small worm-tailed possum, hissing and furious at you and your party. Excellent. Excellent.
Saphyne can do that?
Yes, polymorph. Yes, you can.
Yikes.
I'm telling you, dude. She's stacked. Valkyr, who I'm running. Who is running him?
I am running him.
Steven.
Valkyr will. Can you take the heart off of him? It makes me nervous.
Now that he's healed, yes.
Oh, can I mess with those icons? I can't his for some reason.
You
Just
should
add
be able
20
to
to
do
that?
all of them. Like any character sheet you see, you should be able to do that one. I don't know why it's not doing that.
I can do some. Anyway, Valkyr will, long story short, wants to find a line of sight to throw 2 Eldritch Blasts, because he's going to see a big fat giant and start blasting.
You're right.
So-
With their height, I don't even think he needs to move unless you would like him to.
Well, okay, so he's a lot smarter than Goldbrand, so he's going to do this first. He's going to move 5, 10, 15. Can he get behind this wagon over here?
Oh,
Or behind it? He wants to take cover.
That doesn't give him cover per se, but he could get back here and get cover. Or partial
Can he
cover.
still shoot? Then he's going to take his blast.
Yeah, okay. So roll 2 hits for me.
Oh, I'm working on it. Is that in spells? People who've done this before?
It should be under your actions and attacks on D&D Beyond.
Thank you. Thank you.
D&D Beyond. Give us money.
Gets to do it twice?
Yes, sir. One of those does hit. Or I assume you're hitting the big giant and not the possum, yeah?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And as he's running, Valkyr will holler, "Hey, well, that was fucking cool, mate!" He's gonna, like, slide into the cart and throw his Eldritch Blast. That was fucking cool.
All right. That brings us to the top of the round. At which point, you hear a small scream. Several small screams that seem to grow a little louder. And from beyond the wall, beyond the gate, you see 3 goblins flying up, hurtling through the air, tucked into tiny cannonballs with spiked helmets. And
What's the
Gold-
fucks
Goldbrand,
is that?
Tali, and Davos. Roll dexterity saves for me.
I have advantage on this because I can see it.
Because of barbarian shit? Because
Yes.
I was about to say, I don't think that's a druid shit thing.
It's a barbarian thing. You said a
Please roll
dexterity
for me.
check?
Yes, sir.
I got you. Tal.
Dexterity save.
Save her. That was a save.
Oh, I forget
Wait.
you're doing him too. Okay, thank you. Did you roll saves? I didn't see anything.
I'm working on it. I messed up. Ooh, so happy for that advantage.
So,
Thanks.
Goldbrand and Tally, you failed your first one, so you take it. Who is the third one I said? Davos? Roll for him real quick.
Yeah,
Oh.
I've got Talvin.
He
Pulled up.
passes his.
Who?
Alright, so Davos is, Tally, I'm sorry, my dude, but you are going to take 12 damage, my dude, as this goblin comes pelting into you. All 3 as they impact, instantly dead. Hurtled from some great distance. Didn't seem to be flying magically or anything, just sheer physics plowing them through the air. And you guys hear, in common, you hear, "Loud another one!" And
Don't do
yeah,
that.
they're preparing for the next wave. Zatari. And with that, it's your move.
Okay, we don't have like any spell slots regained or anything, right? We're just
No,
still
yeah,
where we are.
you guys have used the spell slots you used last session. This is like endurance endurance training.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna go for Biggin then.
Get him.
Ooh.
That ain't it.
Ooh. Roll that same attack again. I'm so glad I changed this because y'all have been brutal to each other. 23 is an odd number, so you know what? Lifferlas is between you and the giant. Go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and click damage for that first one. Lifferlas takes 4 damage as you attempt to fire off on this giant, but are so distracted by the other giant disappearing, you like begin to turn and blast Lifferlas in the back of the trunk. You still have your bonus action if you have it.
Yeah, 1 second. I need to. Pretty sure if I roll a nat 1, something bad happens to my.
Oh, your gun jams. Yeah, you misfire.
His gun got erectile dysfunction.
Basically. So I have to spend an action to repair it before I can attack again.
You do.
Okay.
So you have your bonus action still for this round.
I don't have anything for bonus action, so I'll just go for next scene, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just do firebolt.
Pop that big bugger. Firebolt. So roll a 20. What she gets to, whatever she gets to add to it. Oh, yeah,
missed, right?
That's a miss, my dude.
All right, well there it is. There's everything.
That's okay. All right, Goldbrand didn't live for less.
All right, so Lifferlas can Lifferlas reach the giant? Because I'm not sure.
Not from there. He has a 10-foot reach, so 2 squares diagonally at the most. He could take 2 steps forward and get him, I think.
Yeah. No, because he has a reach. He has a pretty long reach, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Let me see here. Reach 10 feet, so he could reach him from there.
Yes, sir.
All right, Lifferlas ain't scared of shit, so that's what he's gonna do.
Terrifying, fearless, free man. You rolling, my dude?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I forgot how to do /R because my brain is dumb.
No, same.
Oh, that's an 18 to hit.
That does it. Go
I
ahead
thought I
and
did 2d20. And a nat 20. They both do 14 damage. Well, one does 14 damage and the
Does
other
he have
does
multi-attack?
20.
Oh
Yeah.
God, he does, doesn't he?
Like I said, 14 damage apiece, so that's 28 damage on the second one instead of 14. This tree literally is like, fuck you.
Lifferlas comes up. Oh, whoops, that's not right. Lifferlas comes up and just starts wailing on this dude. Pops him upside the head, pops him upside the other. Oh, coming to my town, do you? And Goldbrand.
Only the ends could see this. Goldbrand, like, who was preparing to go, like,
Accurate.
stand down the other giant the way that Davos is with the first one, like, looks wildly at Saphyne when it disappears, looks at Taliban, and is like, can you teach him to do that? And then he'll make a ball and throw a comet at the giant, and before he throws it, he'll look at Taliban and say, I guess you knows what I'm going to say is next. Then he'll throw his comet at him.
What are you saying is next?
Usually it's focus on the ones, focus on
Focus
that
the
one.
ones in the back, yeah.
Actually, I think you can see if it hits that it does a certain. Oh, did that cast?
Oh, that was a nat 1. Roll again.
God damn.
Oh, it's another odd number. Okay. So you come up. Well, I'm thinking it happens like this. Zatari and Goldbrand both go to make your blast at about the same instance, right as Lifferlash comes rushing up, and his broader form blocks your line of sight. Go ahead. That was 14 damage. So that's pretty good chunk. Lifferlash is about at half health, little over. As we round into Davos's turn, the larger giant. Or no, excuse me. It's not time for that yet. Davos is going to go ahead.
2 nat 1s already. Again.
Yeah,
right?
On hit too.
I was about to say, this is rough. Davos is going to go, and he's going to go for his rapier. 18 does hit. gonna pop some damage. He gets to do a smite with that. We're gonna go with this one. Oh wait. Yeah, he still has one of those. Yeah, he's gonna do Inspiring Smite.
Kind of neat.
Temporary hit points to a creature within 30 feet. Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually what he did the last go around. So that's why you guys came up with it. So he's already given these hit points to himself because he was actually the most hurt before that spell.
And already done that damage.
Yeah. So I'll pop that back on, which is fine. Right. And that's going to bring us to Bergen. Who I think... Tally? Or Josh, right? Josh.
Alright.
That's our last cleric.
What's everybody's health looking like? That's
Davos is okay after the heal from earlier. Liver lost a little over half. Saphyne is mostly
Brown.
full.
Go around looks good. Back here looks good.
Maxine is
I don't know what I'm looking like.
at least 2/3 of the way.
Taliban. Calvin's 3/4.
Gotcha.
alright. I will cast Sacred Flame at the giant.
Get him.
See a dexterity saving throw of 15.
Okay. Dex, you said?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
I totally forgot to bonus it. Oh no, my star form was over. It takes an action. Never mind.
Well,
Go ahead.
yeah, damn.
Hmm.
He passes that. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I put something in chat? Oh, yeah, that was you. He passes that just barely. You said it needs to beat a 14 or a 15?
15.
Either way, he rolled a 15. Or he has a 16 minus 1, so 15. So damn. He does not take any damage, I think. That's an all or nothing, yeah?
Yeah. And then for a bonus action, I'll cast my spiritual weapon.
Yeah, get it, my dude.
Spiritual weapon squad.
I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time and go steal it from the other map.
Big green mace. What if it was just, instead of being giant, it was just like this super long, like, they're not morning stars. What are the things called that have like a lot of chain and a ball on the end of them? You swing them.
A flail?
Yes, thank you.
Poultry. It's gonna be a joke until I die, Devin. Alright.
Good.
We're gonna say it pops up in between them for most tactical advantage, and it gets to make a swing. The 10 does not hit, but he does have it to continue using his bonus actions for. That is gonna bring us to Beaudreau! And Beaudreau, looking pretty hurt after you guys kind of wailed on him. A little pissed off. He's gonna go and try to take a swing at Davos. It's an unarmed strike. He does not hit, but he does get to make 2 of those. Ooh, that does hit. Davos takes 15 damage. 3. That brings us to Tibbadeau, who is a furious possum. He's going to scamper up. What's his... Yeah. He'll scamper up, and he's going to try to bite Davos on the foot. What an incredible start to our session. He does not hit. He has a 12. He normally has multi-attack, but I guess he doesn't here. So, Taliban, your move, my dude.
I will continue to attack Beaudreau in that case.
Get him.
Um,
Devin, will you throw 2 more knives or 3 more, my dude? He has the hex.
I believe it's just the primary and the secondary, unless I'm still hasted. I don't remember if I was still hasted.
No, because we had
I
around
think it
10
wore
minutes
out
to
right
get
before
there.
you guys get there, yeah.
So it's just 2.
Yeah, it's the
It's the
primary
dex one.
knife. It's the dex one. There's one that rolls a d6
Oh,
and one that rolls
that's
a
right.
d4.
You
Roll
don't
both of them.
have multi-attack. I'm sorry. That's what I thought. That's why you were doing it last game, but I remember now.
So roll 1 of each. Is that how that works?
Yep.
An action and a bonus action, yes, sir.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
When I realized there were 2, I was like,
Ooh.
oh.
He does get the sneak attack damage. You fling off this knife of psychic energy, and it stabs into Beaudreau's shoulder, and he just bellows out in pain and clutches his head and backs away. He retreats, cowering toward the wall and like putting up his arms saying, "No more! No more!" And with that, it's technically Saphyne's turn.
Kills that bastards.
Taliboned?
Saphyne.
They're good.
Mm, she will
suspense.
cast Mind Sliver on the guy that Beaudreau as well.
Beaudreau? Okay, roll for
Yep. I don't know what the spell. I can't pull up the spell. I only have her character, like her stat
Gotcha.
block.
Mind Sliver.
Correct.
Do.
It's an intelligence saving throw.
Saving throw or 1d6. What's her spell modifier? Tally?
It is +5 to hit.
+5.
Also, does it say
no,
if
what's
she's a
her-
specific level spell cast? Yeah, it does. It say she's a 5th level spellcaster. She is a 8th level spellcaster.
She's a 7th level spellcaster.
All right, that's 2d6 damage then.
What is her spell save DC though? It should say on the sheet somewhere.
14.
14?
14.
It's not too high. His intelligence is pretty bad though. Ooh,
Kind of a neat
no,
spell.
no, yeah, he's good. Got an 18, -3 is 15. So she fires off this knife. Him not even paying attention, just like hunching down as she blasts this off. Makes no purchase. Valkyr. Devon.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. No,
No,
you're
you're
speaking
fine.
about
Sorry.
Valkyrie.
Yeah, sorry, I had to
Um,
think about it for a second.
Can he still hit Beaudreau?
He can. He's
Beaudreau.
yeah. He might need to move
Yeah,
a little
heard.
bit, but
Okay. He will come up to maybe here.
yeah, I forget
Further
that giant is technically a possum, so he's really low.
If you say yeah, then that's what he's
Yeah.
going to do. He's going to take them their kerpows. Did you get the first one? No. Bloop,
So-
bloop.
Oh, the second one hits Beaudreau.
Yep.
Okay. He doesn't have an NPC. Anything for his bonus action?
Don't think he really has a bonus action. No, he doesn't even have a bonus action tab. Oh,
So-
yeah, he does. Hold on.
At the top of the
Nope, you're good.
round, you hear another thwomp, and the screams as 3 more goblins come flying over the wall. Oh, and that
Which
20. I didn't pick targets. I'm sorry. Hang on.
Ah!
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Saphyne. Oh, there's one there. Live or loss. Ooh, and Tibbadeau, the fucking possum. The first was a nat 20, so that's the Saphyne. So that's gonna be 24 damage to her. I'll mark that. Second one was a 12, which was to liver loss, which plus the 3 liver loss 15 hit.
15 does hit.
Okay, he's gonna take 12.
That's halved if it's bludgeoning or piercing
This-
damage.
Oh, either or, because this one is piercing. They have spiked helmets.
Yes. The only thing it's not is slashing, because trees, like axes slashing.
No, yeah, that's fair. Okay. And the third one going to Tibbadeau, what's a possum's AC? Not enough. The 2 goblins splat before you guys, and a third one comes hurtling towards Davos, and he sidesteps out of the way, and ends up hitting the possum instead, which immediately emerges once again as an enormous hill giant, very mad, seemingly still somewhat rabid. Not rabid, but feral. And at the top of the round, as that happens, Beaudreau cries again, "Bleed no more them boom booms and the achy knobs. We don't want to get hurt no more." Tibbadeau, "We just getting food for good, like she said. Beaudreau Tibbadeau don't want to fight. You be nice to Beaudreau and Tibbadeau. We show you the way to go. She the only one who want to fight with you smallins anyhow. Uh-huh. Yeah, you take care of good. The rest of us just go back to eating what we find. No more of this wall climbing bullshit. We can be real useful, like. That's some muscle on strapping young hill giants like we be. Digging dirt, moving dirt, hauling dirt, taste testing." As these giants essentially offer their ask you to show mercy, we continue on to Zatari's turn. Unless any of you decide to speak up or try to
I
intervene.
mean, Goblin wants to. We want to insight check that, but I can wait till my turn.
I would say in this moment you could make an insight check to see if you believe them. Bergen probably would.
Like,
as well.
are they seriously just so cowardly that like they would sell out their what he is assuming is their leader to not get butchered by them?
Are you
Like-
asking this?
No, that's what he's trying to figure out. That's what the inside check
Okay.
is for.
Did you roll it? Oh, I'm sorry. I saw
I-
Zatari's, but I didn't see. With a 19, no, yeah. You gather that they do not want to. That they were sent here against their will, more or less. That they did not want to come to this city and try to steal shit, but that's what they were ordered to do. By the name you recognize, Chief Ga is who Zephyros told you was the leader of the Hill Giants. So you know that the giant lords are in disarray, and because of that, giants are attacking all over. You gather that these two are not willing participants in that. They're not eager for it, like the bugbears or the goblins that you saw.
So, it's Zatari's turn. As far as Goldbrand's concerned, we're still fighting. He's like, "Ugh." He might say something on his turn, but
All right,
Fuck 'em.
Zatari,
Fuck 'em.
fuck 'em, he says. What you doing, boy?
Going for this.
Pepperbox?
shooting
Oh,
old
no.
bitch ass.
I'm sorry, my dude. You have a misfired gun, so you've got to spend your action.
You're a bastard.
I know. I'm sorry.
Alright.
The only reason I remember was the pink box. I don't know why. It just sense
so does
member.
Goldbrand just look up to see Zatari reloading his gun? That's kind of funny.
Fucking goddamn it. You do have a bonus action if you can do anything with that.
I cannot. So
Oh,
19
wow.
will go.
You also do have a crossbow and stuff. So if you ever misfire, feel free to swap. I'll charge you the bonus action to swap over, but and you would still
Alright,
your gun would still be misfired until you were to fix it. But
For sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna spend this round fixing it, and
Okay.
then I will try another firebolt with Nixine
yeah, to the one in the back or to the one up front.
in the back.
Oh, that does hit. Roll some damage for me.
So it is 2d10.
Next scene back here. Peace was never an option.
11 damage.
Scared shitless.
You watch as that particular ogre
Ooh.
or giant burst into flame. The parts of his body
That's even
that
better.
have been gashed and bruised. You see the thick fat of his skin, like the slits. You see inches of this stuff, like a mattress. It's disgusting. His the patches of hair across his chest ignite with the fire and seemingly just almost like an inferno out of nothing. I mean, Nexine's a powerful spellcaster, so this was not a little tiny. It was fairly large magical flame. And Tibbadeau, no, Beaudreau, I was right the first time, falls lifeless to the floor as Tibbadeau lets out a bellow and is absolutely... Now peace is never an option. That's going to bring us to Goldbrand and to Liverlash.
Goldbrand shrugs a little bit, but he's gonna go fuck it up anyway. He's about it. Live or loss, I guess. He's at half health. Doesn't have any ranged. He's a tree. He's just gonna do 5.
You do
He's gonna
appreciate
get close. Yeah, he's gonna go up to it and smack it. What he does, I guess. Oh yeah, sorry, gotta roll over here. Slash. A nat 1 and a 15.
Mm.
Wow.
Roll another one for the nat 1 for me. An odd number.
Another
Oh my
7.
fucking god. This is the worst rule ever. It helped you not at all.
Roll 20 is spying on our Discord chat.
Fuck him. On the 7, he hits Davos. He's the one right between them. It makes sense. Sorry, bud. I'm not doing it on purpose. You just. What does he get to add? Oh, I'm sorry. What is his damage for that attack?
14.
14. Yeah, I'll do a pretty good little. Excuse me, that's one more. I'll do a pretty good little chunk to Davos. The other attack does hit, so Tibbadeau does take 14 from that, but he is not even, scraped up. He's still fairly fresh. He was a possum this entire match.
Fair enough.
Goldbrand?
I have to use use of wild shape, so it's an action to turn back into a constellation. As soon as as soon as Beaudreau starts screaming because his buddy's dead, Goldbrand shrugs, turns into a constellation, and throws a javelin at that bitch.
Get him.
Oh, I think this is under bonus actions.
It's the same sick part of the 14. That meets. Yeah, that meets.
Then next turn, he's gonna rage and run over there and smack the shit out of it. Here we go.
Get him. Davos is gonna go for a couple more swings. Not a couple. Sorry, he doesn't have.
He's gonna tank swap. He's gonna tank swap with Davos after Lifer loss cracked him over the head.
That go through? An 8 does not hit. Let me see what he's gonna do with his bonus action. Huh. He does technically still have a use of Light of Lathander. So you know what? That's what he's gonna do. Let me roll for Tibbadeau real quick. Shit. Oh, he does not pass. Well, I don't know. His con's pretty good. Let me check that. No, he does not pass. You watch as once again, Davos, his amulet, sends forth this blinding light, and it's very intense. It seems like literal sunlight. Like just it hurts your eyes to even look, not even directly at it. He's in front of all of you, and it's gonna do not a whole lot. It popped it a couple of times, but just the 3 damage. But does blind this motherfucker. So you guys all have advantage to hit him, and he has disadvantage to hit any of you.
That's fucking dope.
That's gonna bring us to Bergin.
Great.
How's Davos look?
Not great.
Heard.
19, little about half.
But I will use Cure Wounds on him then.
Cure Wounds is not a touch spell, is it?
It is.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
touch, my dude. So
Let's see.
you could
The
get
thing
up
about
to him.
Bergen, you could use, if Bergen has healing word, you could use that because I'm pretty sure Bergen will get to add like 7 to it. Because he's a life cleric. Quintessential classic D&D. I don't know. I love it, dude.
Cure Wounds
You wanna
does
heal
more
shit?
than
That's
healing
it.
word, though. So I'm sure he
Yeah.
could. But it's also a bonus action, so his action would be free to do something else. So
I was thinking more he didn't have to go touch him. It's up to Josh.
Alright, he'll just do Healing Word then. It's fine.
okay, you still have an action. If you would like to do anything with that.
See, he rolled a 1 and still handed out 8 healing. From a distance.
And then alright, we know all this shit does. And then he'll cast Shield of Faith on Goldbrand. 'cause he's
So
about to
that's
go
a
in.
spell. So you can't cast 2 spells in the same turn.
Well, Jesus.
With him, you're probably going to have to either use a cantrip or you're just going to have to run up and pop him with your mace. Which is fine for a cleric. That's, kind of what they're built for.
Okay. Blah, 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 blah. We'll do Sacred Flame again. Dex
Cool,
saving
cool, cool,
throw of 15.
-1. Oh yeah, he fails. Half my that damage.
5 damage.
Sweet. All right, that brings us to Beaudreau, who is dead, and Tibbadeau, who is going to blinded take a swing at Davos. Oh, Bergen had his mace up.
Yeah, I can't use our bonus action to heal though, right? I can't
Yeah.
do anything, or how does that work?
No, it's a bonus action. You could have cure wounds and done it, but not vice versa. No worries though. We'll remember it for next time. Oh, the 11 plus a 19 hits Davos, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's a 19 at disadvantage. 15 damage to Davos, who is in pretty rough shape. He's definitely beaten, battered. For a second swing. Oh, one. Oh my god! I can't. That's a nat 20, and that's a nat 20. And I'm scared.
Oh, God.
He deals
Yags.
30 damage. Davos goes down. Not beyond health down, but
Down.
down. Oof. Not whoop.
Dead.
Yeah, there we
Dead.
go. I like that better. Wow.
Deceased.
no.
Get him out the game. One
Roll new
whack him
character.
down.
One, the other one's been gone, man.
1.5, I guess. Yeah.
That's gonna bring us to Talbot, who just sees
Okay.
Davos get basically beaten to the dirt. I mean, this is a big
Yeah.
old boy. They all done pissed the fuck off.
I can move for Saphyne before myself, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Send in the crazy Cajun lady first.
Yeah.
Smart man.
She gonna veye with him a little bit. What has she got? What is... Gonna go come with... Damn, did we really get a sense for how much health the first one had?
I fucked it up pretty
I mean-
quick, but I know Davos did a bunch of damage.
He did a bunch of shit. Yeah.
Davos had it at like a few points above bloodied before you guys walked up. He did a fuck ton.
They're,
Through what?
Okay, yeah.
they're the least tanky of giants, but
They're still
they've
the
got more hit
giants.
points than. I would
Yeah.
think they would have more hit points than ogres.
They do, yeah, by double
and-
and then some.
Okay, she will Mind Sliver again, which is
Get
her
'em.
primary action, right?
That's
and
a
then
that's a
I'm actually-
save, yeah. Or is that?
Yeah.
Yes,
That
that is
2d6
DC
psychic damage.
Yeah.
DC 14 to
Um,
D6 psychic damage.
16. You said intelligence, so minus.
Yep.
-3 is a 13.
Hell yeah. So now he has. There's a 1d4 that he will have to roll on his next check, I believe, or a saving throw.
A D4.
Can you look at the spell? I don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I still have
in
it
front
open.
of
Yeah.
me.
1d6 psychic and subtract 1d4 from the next saving throw.
Saving throw.
It makes
Yeah,
before the end of
before
your next turn. I see.
yeah,
Okay.
before the end of your
So-
next turn. So then Tally is gonna cast Dissonant Whispers.
Get him. Let me deal the. Go ahead and roll your stuff, or is that another saving throw? I'm trying to remember.
That's another saving throw.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we did. Devin, do you have a sheet?
Devin?
I do. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
What did you say? Psychic whispers.
Dissonant
Dissonant
yeah.
Whispers.
Dissonant whispers a spell. Heard. There you go. Sorry about that.
No, you're
You
fine.
need it in. You need it in chat so you see what it is.
No, that's good. Oh, he rolled a 19. His wisdom's gonna be bad, but it's not that bad. So he but he has to minus a d4 from it. Hang on. So it's an 18 minus 4, 14, which passes because hers. Oh no, hers is 14. What's yours? Your spell save.
I don't
DC.
know. Tally's is probably 13 or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
What it is.
it is 14.
It's 14, which it still meets. So he fortunately does not go crazy. Anything else for
In which
Tally?
case, yeah, the bonus action Psychic Knife.
Yeah. finding it, Dev?
What do you need me to do? I'm sorry, I was looking at Valkyr's
Okay,
character sheet.
he gets a 12. You get to add a pretty good bit to those knives. So you would catch. What's the damage on that?
Psychic knives.
Yeah.
It's like 1d4
Yeah, I
plus
got you.
proficiency plus thrown weapon damage is +2 plus.
Oh god.
Oh, I didn't.
Plus
I never
sneak attack.
transferred Hunter's Mark.
He does
so-
not
yeah,
have
but
sneak attack
sneak attack
anymore.
Yeah.
because Davos is down.
Davos is down, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Do you need a?
What about
You
the
do-
spiritual
you can roll
weapon?
that off of his. Would
Does
be
that
good.
count?
It doesn't count as an ally, unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Can you roll that, my dude, Devin?
I'm sorry. The second one, is that what you're after? I
Yep.
couldn't hear. Heard?
Oh, I'm sorry, I see the thing. I already rolled to see if it hit, so we're good there.
Yeah. 7 damage.
11. Oh, no, you're right. 7 damage. Alright. That's going to bring us to the top of the round, where 3 more of those goblin-y boys come flying over. And they're going to hit...
Did Valkyr get to go?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're right. I had him highlighted
Only-
while we were doing tally. Go ahead, Val.
Alright, so he's actually going to cast Ray of Enfeeblement. It's a
Get it.
60 feet, so I'm assuming he can hit from there.
Yes, sir. If you will drop
Ah!
Oh, no. Oh, no. We never talked about spells. That's an attack roll. No, it's an attack roll, yeah. Because the DC is for the resulting. Roll a d20 for me, Devin. Or just roll the attack again.
I did that earlier and accidentally used a use that I didn't actually use. Hold on, give me just a second.
14, it's even, thank God. It was odd, I was about to change that fucking rule. Okay, so, a ray of sickly light shoots forth from Valkyr's hand, but, in the giant's rage, it's very, it's moving around a lot, it's swinging its arms, it goes wide and misses. Does he have a bonus action you can use?
I guess he's gonna hex it.
Hex.
That's it.
Alright. Alright, that's gonna bring it to the goblins, who are gonna hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, well, no. He's still. 6, which
Why
is
did you cast it at the
Zatari.
Oh, I confused.
Bergen.
the wrong thing.
That's another 6, so let me roll a different. 1, 2, 3. And Goldbrand. First one coming at Zatari. Ooh. A 16 to hit.
Meets.
Meets, take 12 damage. Bergen. Ooh, a 19 to hit. Whoever's running Bergen, if you can do 12 damage to him and to Goldbrand.
Bergen's down.
Bergen's down. Oh my god. And the Phoenix has already popped for the day.
Mhm.
Your 2
Guess he
Healy
never-
boys.
We never healed him after he did that.
Oh, he probably didn't have his 20 added to it though, because he can get himself.
I can't do anything to it, right? I can't add or take anything away.
What is it at?
It says 8 right now.
So he'd have been
Okay,
at 20.
so he would have been at 28, and he just took what, 12?
Yes.
So that puts him at 16. Okay. Goldbrand, the third one goes a little wide of you and does not hit. That brings us to Zatari, good sir.
Okay. I have an idea. So seeing
boy.
that Nixine kind of fucked up this man's brother and kind of that Davos kind of
Scene.
took the brunt of it, she's gonna cast suggestion,
Okay.
and she's
That
going
just
to
killed your brother. Go ahead.
she's going to suggest that this is Tibbadeau, yes?
Yes.
Suggest that Tibbadeau take out his anger on the one that sent him here, since it's obviously her fault, their fault, that he was sent here unwillingly anyway.
What's the save on that, or is it something you roll? Okay, I'll pop it up.
It's a wisdom saving throw, and her save throw is 13.
He did not pass. pop it. Let me look at this one quick second, because if I recall, and maybe I'm thinking of command instead of suggestion. Limited to a sentence or two, so yeah, you're good. All right. You all watch as Tibbadeau goes from a swinging rage and halts. And he goes, "Yeah, you're right, it is good fun out here. I don't want to be in the fireplace. Fuck that bitch." And turns around and begins to walk away. 5,
We have a
10,
good time.
15, 20, 25, 30. Gate is...
And she's alright.
right
I
here,
gotta
so-
specify, I guess, before this is all solidified. She specifically says it to where he doesn't stop until he gets to the person
You
and
should
takes
go-
out his anger.
You should go straight on down there.
Just straight there and deal with your business.
Let me look at this one more time before we... Up to 8 hours.
Oh.
Yo, does she
Wow.
have to say anything? Like, does she say it out loud?
She does, yeah.
Oh shit.
Kind of like, why don't you just, you know,
Sally's, yeah, I'm gonna look at her like, whoa. That's some kind of
You ever been mommed so hard to send a fucking 20-foot troll back to its cave? Oh, God.
So, inspired by the components, I like to think she takes out a snake's tongue covered in honey and eats it before she casts the spell.
And when
like,
she
very
talks, her
specific.
tongue is literally just a snake's tongue. Like,
that's fucking disgusting.
that's pretty sick. No, that's sick is what it is.
That's what I said.
I suggest that you make your way back home immediately, and then charges out. All right, not how I pictured that fight going, but okay.
Oh,
You guys watch. Y'all, all of you stand there a little dumbstruck as the giant makes its way through the gate and down the very long sloped hill that you guys had made your way up to. 2 of your allies are in critical condition, so if none of you jump to heal them, they're gonna have to make some saving throws.
I thought Bergen was okay. Yes or no?
Oh yes, Bergen is okay. You're right.
Okay, then Goblin will go in. He has to stabilize Davos with the check. He's just gonna use.
You have a medicine. You can.
How long
stabilize.
does
You have
this
a
that's
medicine.
bullshit last? And he jerks his thumb at the giant, talking to Naxine.
Approximately 8 hours. He should be over the
casts Cure
Dressium
Wounds on-
River at that point.
Yeah, he casts Cure Wounds on Davos. Sure.
Get him.
As soon
What-
as he knows this, okay.
Roll your shit, my dude.
Working out.
Bloop. Thank you. You watch as Davos comes back awake, and he swings at you. He does not make purchase, but it shocks you. His eyes are open. He's in a bit of a sweat. Looks terrible. I mean, you see where he's beginning to get that discoloration from early bruises, that sort of yellowy green gross color that's starting to rise up on his neck, his arms, his hands, the parts you can see. And he does a quick look around at all of you and sort of slouches forward onto his knees, and he's quite still for a few moments, and he doesn't seem to say anything. He grows distant, but eventually stands up and looks over at all of you. And your allies, Z, Oren, Miros, Saphyne, and Naxine, are tremendously impressed with all of you, as is Lifferlos, despite the wounds that many of you peppered him with. Z immediately comes up and goes, "That was incredible. You just told him to leave, Naxine. That is not at all how I thought this night would unfold." And Naxine seems very proud of herself in the moment, but very much seems on the, it will not hold him long. We will need to make haste.
Perhaps his bosses will kill him first. Goldbrand's gonna hike over and start cutting the head off of
The other giant? Get it.
giant. He's gonna call out to anybody that says, if science to understand correctly, so we get more of those weird shiny things that you children's carry if we takes this back with us. He's gonna start cutting the
100%.
head off.
Um,
If anybody wanna help,
a few of the people look disgusted, particularly Oren, who goes up to Oren actually
Is that
walks
a
up to,
strength DM? Or a check
it's
at all?
technically a survival check because you're harvesting parts, quote unquote.
I'll help you. Roll tallies.
Oh, you
Heard.
lucky you said that before that roll popped.
Yeah, same. Wow, tallies
Another
so much
nat
better,
one.
too.
That's the third nat one. Oh my
What the
god!
fuck?
Nat
Oh
one.
my god!
Dude, something's wrong. Something is direly
You're not
wrong.
I
In
think
the
we
past
just
2
rolled
sessions, that's like
so well last time.
It's like 8 or 9 or 10 in the last
this
two.
is like
It's
over
ridiculous.
20 in the last two sessions.
That's insane. What?
I think it's because it's our 10th consecutive session.
It's a
I
curse.
think that's
What the fuck?
Yeah,
You
that's
two
maybe a record.
begin to try carving
We
through
just
this neck,
butcher it.
but the charred state of the body, the damage that it took beforehand, it sort of, you crush the skull, and it sort of you could try to take it with you, but it would rot much quicker now, and you don't even know where the nearest. I mean, they told you the Lord's Alliance is doing that. They aren't based in this town. You have to carry this around for a good bit, and you basically just put it in such a state where it is too much of a mess to make it worth the gold, even at 500
I was
gold.
gonna say, eventually Goldbrand starts cursing in Balthy and like waves at Talbot to leave it alone, and waits for him to climb off the giant. They'll trudge back to everyone fawning over Naxine.
Saphyne in utter
Yeah,
disgust.
On the way back,
Prestidigitations,
he
both
wants
of
to
you.
look at. He wants to look at Talbot on the way back, and he'll look at Talbot. He'll look back at Saphyne. He'll say, "I would goes and wins hers a Bearcubs if I was yous," and then he'll get prestidigitated.
That's so funny. Yeah, Saphyne cleans you two right up. Oren comes up and goes beside Davos and sort of doesn't necessarily squat down beside him because he's almost as tall as Davos is, just seated, but lays a hand on him. And Goldbrand, you're probably close. Goldbrand and Tally, I'd say, if you were at the other giant, probably hear this. Oren seems to be comforting him. You remember that Davos, his father, was killed in a giant attack. That a giant attacked him and his father. And Davos was knocked unconscious during the fight and wasn't there to protect his dad. And you see some of that guilt hanging on him. But he pushes himself to his feet, and he's quiet, but he's not like quite in despair anymore. Z says that, looks over at the bodies that are there. There are 4 or 5 guards there, one of them being Hontanus, the Castilian that was very stubbornly told you they could handle giants. You gather from their wounds that they were not killed by the giants themselves, but some of the earlier arrivals. What you guys heard as Davos was first approaching this scene was that they were told to wait outside with whatever was firing the goblins. If you walk up to the gate to look, you see a few ogres with a small band of goblins that seem confused and are turning to follow Tibbadeau as he makes his way back toward wherever he came from. But the threat on Goldenfield has ended. She gets the help of Miros to lower the gate and reseal that, and then they begin. She bows her head at Hontanus and says a small prayer to Shanti and says, "We will ensure they get a proper burial. I am sad that it came to this, but I knew his foolishness put all of us in jeopardy. We should return to Father Daravik and inform him of the night's events. Unless any of you have any business here further."
I don't think we do.
Do not.
You guys begin the walk back to Harvest Home. You talking to your cat or me? Because you ride, baby.
The cat.
Let me get to the right part here.
One quick comment all over me. This session of D&D is brought to you by Obnoxious Cat.
As most things in life are. C. Forlornly says that she is disappointed in herself as you guys are walking back up the Harvest Home, that she's disappointed in herself for not noticing the intruder sooner. And says that she's been pulling double shifts, serving from 8 in the morning until dark, until well into the early night shift before going to bed, and just frustrated that this was allowed to happen. She vents a bit that they had been told to increase the guards, and that she understands it's difficult, that there are many miles of wall to this city. I mean, almost 30 miles of wall to patrol, so it's not like they have enough people just to have them posted every few yards. But she escorts you guys into the city. You see the Trents coming back into the grove, and Lifralas sort of makes his way over and speaks in Sylvan to them, almost like the groaning of the branches that he as he moves communicates as they do a bit of this back and forth. And Lifralas goes, "Oh, the boys say they ran off some few more bugbears and ogres on the other side of town with some of the guards. I was wondering where everybody was at. Felt like we were a little outnumbered there for a bit, but you guys handled it all right. I'm gonna make my way back over here, but I'll catch you lads later before you leave town." And crawls
Tell
off
them
into the distance.
Tells them she helps kill the giants.
Oh no, I killed the giant. It was all me. I understand. As much damage as I took, I should have killed the bastard. Z escorts you into the temple. You see a few other guards arriving as well. You see a rather annoyed-looking Strogg barking orders and running about. Doesn't seem to be particularly injured, but many of these men took quite a serious blow, and are, while not on death's door, you understand from their demeanor that there were some who died in the attack. Z brings you into the chantry, and she summons the abbot is already there, speaking to another guard who rushes up to her, seeing all of you enter in, and she begins recounting the night's events to him. And as she describes the end of the second wave, she describes Davos erupting with the dawn and this radiant light and blinding the giants so they could get the upper hand on them and quickly dispatch one while Miss Maxine persuaded the other to leave. He is immensely impressed throughout the entire tale and hangs on to every word. He tells you that I had seen the light from both ends of the chantry windows. Just a few moments ago, I was surprised, as I understand that the dawn comes through the eastern windows every morning, but to see it come from both ends of the chantry was an unbelievable sight. Thank you all for your deeds and heroism. I'm very pleased that you were able to fight off this force, but I regret that our defenses were not ready. I do not know what to do now. My sense of security within this city is shattered. Do you know, pray tell, you told us, you warned us that giants had attacked your city. Do you know why they were inclined to do this to us?
I imagine a well-spoken party member can relay to them the events of, or at the very least tell them most of what Zephyros told us about the Ordinate. Yeah.
He seems very stone-faced throughout as you retail the events, and you were told of this by a giant. The same type of giant who attacked Nightstone. Am I understanding correctly?
It is true.
He brought those here's. I believe if he meant harm to these small folks, he could have thrown us off the towers at any time he's wanted.
He brought you here. Were you planning to come here before?
We were sent here to find Miros.
But he brought you here this day, so that you could be here this night. Most peculiar. And he sort of paces a bit. I do not know what I will do for Goldenfields. I do not feel that I can trust Strogg any further, not after this, but I have no idea who to replace him with.
Cobraham points discreetly at... Can't remember her name. The monk cleric.
Z Liang.
Z, thank you.
Do you say anything?
It's none of his business.
Well, no. He seems to be, thinking aloud. Say something.
That one's theirs fought very well and took us seriously when we first entered the cities.
Strog, Strog, excuse me. You watch as Father Darvik sort of hangs his head, and seems very humbled, and apologizes to her. I was too complacent in allowing Strog to continue in his role as captain. He will be stepping down tomorrow morning. Oh, this morning, I should say, as it is the early hours of the morning. I'd say somewhere between 6 and 7 o'clock. Z is extremely excited. Not excited, I should say, but she seems like this is. I think I can do better for the city. I was thinking, in the daytime, instead of having the men patrol from atop the walls, we can have the Emerald Enclave circle the city with their cavalry. And that would save up the men to do better watches at night when the horses cannot run. I have many ideas of how to improve the defenses of the city, and you see immediately that she has a mind for this. She has the tactical presence and the know-how to do this well. So you feel very good that you've suggested her. The abbot thinks it's a magnificent idea, but she tells him, we cannot defend against giants alone. They are mighty, and at times we may need to rely on each other. And for that, I would like to suggest an alliance between the Goldenfields Chantry and Nightstone. We could have some treaties drawn up, some terms made.
Corbin looks pointedly at the abbot after having said something about it yesterday. He's like,
After having said something about the
"Bet an
attack?
alliance."
Oh, the alliance. Yeah. Well, you've done a lot to earn some sway. I mean, she says, what about this? When either of our cities is in danger, if a battalion or two could be spared from the other to meet the threat at the other location. In other words, if Nightstone were to go under attack, we would send a battalion or two to assist you, and if we were to be attacked, you would do the same. We will also establish trade, providing food and gold to your kingdom, to your keep, and over the course of the next month, I will oversee the construction of a new road around the Deep Forest that will connect our cities. Rather than 7 to 10 days, this trip will be merely 3 to 4. This way, our reinforcements could arrive fairly quickly, or with short notice. We could also provide you with wagons to provide aid back to your city, food, supplies. One of our citizens told us that you were trying to distill some things. We could provide some additional wheat and berries for this as well. The abbot agrees with everything that she says, just kind of blown away at how well she was prepared for this type of decision, this type of change, and looks on at you to see if you are accepting, approving of the terms that she's laid out.
I don't know what most of that means, but if you are going to build the roads for us, then I do not see the reasons to complaints. Looks at the rest of the group because he doesn't know what most of that means.
Valkyr's like, fuck yeah, mate, that's killer deal. Yeah, they're gonna send us home with booze, man. That's all you needed to hear. We're gonna be fine. This is gonna work out great. The abbot thanks you again and says that he has much to attend to, as you can imagine, following an attack like this. And immediately you see Strog enters through the front doors of the church, and the abbot sort of looks at him, not darkly, but very sternly, and rushes up to meet him and take him into a side area of the chantry. She looks back at you, and you can see now while she's been very, she sort of slipped into a more professional demeanor upon being promoted, but you see her eyes are a little misty, and she thanks you very much. And she takes off a black pearl pendant and hands it to you, which in itself is a beautiful piece, probably worth several hundred gold. But she tells you, if you take this to Kaldar Marsikl, and the head butler of House Than in Waterdeep, he will give you a gift in exchange. It was something promised to me many years ago by my family, but I sought to cut those ties in pursuit of higher meaning. Next time you were in Waterdeep, if you should hit it on your way home, perhaps, you could surely find him rather easily. And she thanks you and likewise dismisses herself unless any of you have anything to say to her. Is Megan lasering you?
I was lasering myself. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm a child.
what a child.
I'd ask her, does anyone in Goldenfields have the capability to scry?
Well, it is a very peculiar talent. I am sure that we could have someone. I believe. I think Lady Saphyne may be able to. Come to think of it, she proved to be quite a talented woman today. Though I feel it is Miss Maxine that stole the hour. Both of these women,
MVP.
by the way, stopped following at the actual church and seem to be waiting you out front, or seem to have gone back to the inn. Tally, do you have her sheet? I'll pop back up to it if I need to. I'm almost not
The
certain.
stat block?
Yeah,
She does have scrying.
I thought so. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Goldbrand thanks her, probably kind of awkwardly, for, the thing she is going to do and has done for Nightstone.
She
Begrudgingly.
thanks you respectfully and looks at you. All of you are in rough shape. She goes, I'm sure if you were to fill Zero in on the situation, that he would be more than happy to give you rooms for another night. For the day, if you would like to rest up and leave later. Thank you again. And she hastens out the room, leaving you gentlemen to yourselves. Y'all are pretty fucked up, so if y'all just want to go back to the North Furrow's End and rest up, you are welcome to. If y'all want to try to do something before then, you can, but the town seems to be in a general state of disarray. Shops aren't open per se. You could try to find certain NPCs, but most of them seem to be kind of frantically checking on their loved ones, their allies, their friends, etc.
Or, before I rest, if we have like free time right now, I'd like to go with Saphyne and try to see if she can set up like a mirror or something for scrying so that we can sort of add Goldenfields to our network, Nightstone, the hand mirror, etc.
She
It's a great
furrows,
idea.
she furrows her brow and looks at it and goes, "Oh, child, that's a very keen idea. I am quite favorable of it. I would need to. Divination is not my expertise per se, but I could try to come up with something. I'll tell you what." And she opens her mouth, revealing a few fangs, and she pricks her fingertip on one of them, and drops a drop of blood onto one of the rubies around the Mirror of Disclosure. The Mirror of Dissemination. Which the ruby briefly glows red and shows her image. Actually, you see her in the mirror as well as you standing next to her before it fades into that similar mist. This time more blue and gold hues. I'll do some homework on this and see if we can't get you something worked out, Shug.
I appreciate it.
Wow, oh wow. He got her contact. That's pretty cool.
You did quite well. Y'all have proved to be more impressive than I originally imagined. I wonder, might there be... Well, and she gives you your friends a look over. Perhaps find me in the morning. This afternoon, after some rest.
As you wish.
In the evening-ish, like but before the sun goes down.
Well, we're
Goldbrand-
already in dawn right now. Or are you saying
I
like
see.
at the
Yeah,
very
that's
end
the day.
of the
Well,
yeah.
okay. Once there's enough light, or I don't know, just as soon as they get a chance, after they get done with talking with Saphyne, Goldbrand wants to grab Talaband and probably Davos. He, maybe not everybody, but he grabs a couple of them and he kind of looks at all of them and then looks at Zatari and he says, "I do not see any reasons to wait. He could have flies away and fucking left us." And his nods.
Do we have an extra necklace for him?
Valkyr
You
has
do,
given
actually. You
him
have a
some.
Kyr's necklace.
Valkyr gave him one, didn't he?
I think he talked to...
Last
Yeah,
session?
y'all did give him one. That's right.
Yeah.
Davos seems agreeable. He's like, yeah, he's helped us out. I don't know where we would have been without him today. No, I think that he's more than welcome to return with us. He sort of looks over and he goes, "Hey, Zatari, come over here." And I guess Bergen, you too, come here. And summons him over. Is that everybody? I'm missing. Oh, Valkyr, yeah. Imagine Valkyr was eavesdropping on your conversation anyway. Just,
Discusses it quietly, looks over to see Valkyr, like, looking at us, like...
And like a brief moment pauses, and Valkyria goes, "Well, fuck! If none of you are gonna say anything," and he comes up and his arm is wreathed in moonlight once again as a longsword appears in his hand, the Moonblade, and he says, "Listen, you all right? You fight good. We need some help. You hate giants. We hate giants. We're gonna kill a lot more than what we did today. What do you say? You want to tag along for a bit? See what mischief we can get into? Teach us more a little bit about that boomstick?"
Oh, you guys like me like that?
You're growing on us, mate. It's not... like's a little bit of a strong word, but there's some mild infatuation.
I don't know the
Alright,
formalities, but we'll make you a lord whenever.
Okay, I'm down. Yeah.
You are to us already, so as long as you're with us, we'll all, collude until we can make it official.
Lord Zatari. Sounds great to me.
And Valkyr does a little flourish with his blade and taps you once on each shoulder, and does a deep little bow, and he's like, "Yeah, not gonna brag, but our ceremony was a lot cooler. But you had an actual lord do it, so I guess that's worth something too, isn't it?" And he begins making his way off toward the inn, which as you guys, I imagine, are saying this as doing this as you're heading toward the inn, and as you come in, you see that Oren has the entirety. Like there's Sero and the bar hands who are listening in deeply, but there's also like some of the scattered customers who came to the inn for information, and you see Oren recanting the tale of Davos coming up and bursting into a sunbeam, blinding these giants and going to town on them, as well as the following actions, and ironically, all of them are so honed in on him that they don't seem to notice you enter. So if you guys would like, you can make your way upstairs to rest, or you can revel in glory for a bit.
I mean, I imagine that's what Goldbrand would do, unless him and Tally agreed to not sleep in an inn, because I know they're kind of worried about that. I kind of picture Goldbrand at least being tired enough that he would just follow the group upstairs and But he may not know what an inn is, but after watching someone get into bed, he'd be like, "Oh, okay."
I imagine you and Tally are roommates, and you're just kind of like, "Huh, do we put our feet up here? Is this for our stuff? Do we sleep on the floor? What's this thing for?"
Goldbrand sleeps under the bed, and Tally sleeps on it.
Davos walks by your open door and goes to close it and looks in like, "Jesus, no, you've got it all wrong. No, you go up here. This thing's for your head. This thing's to cover you up." Basically tucks you in before walking back out of your room and closing the door behind him. Or at least passes you the pillow and blanket underneath the bed if you refuse to move. You guys rest through the night. Go ahead and get your stuff back from your long rest. You rest, I should say, through the dawn and into the early morning. When you guys get up, it's early afternoon, about 1-2 o'clock. All of you are sore and feeling a little beat up, and no one's too gravely injured. You see Davos particularly is a little achy and a little slow to move. And you guys make your way downstairs, and before you can even sit down, Sero has plates of food. It's almost like he didn't know if you'd want breakfast or lunch since you were just waking up. So he has a bit of both prepared out. It looks almost like a fucking medieval Waffle House in this son of a bitch. And just ladens up a table, and Oren, you see, is up on stage singing a bit of the ditty that him and Davos wrote last night. And you guys are given juices. They set a couple of things of ale on the edge of the table. And as you guys rest up and restore, Saphyne and Maxine, you realize after a moment, are chatting at one of the tables and sort of looking over to you, wanting to be polite and letting you heal up a bit, but also wanting to definitely want to look like they want to say something to you.
I kind of imagine someone in the group would wave them to the table almost. I feel like that's someone in the group's that kind of person. They'd just be like,
yeah. I imagine that you guys are just tearing into everything at first, and then just sort of notice them after a few months, go like, "Oh," mouthful of food, just wave them over. They give a light chuckle and both approach, and Maxine sort of sits down at one end, Saphyne at the other, And Maxine starts out, well, good morning. Congratulations, we're all heroes. Although some of them are taking notice of who the true hero of this hour was. And you can see she hasn't slept. She's riding this high of like basically telling this giant to fuck off. Me and Miss Saphyne were discussing some things, and I think I know where you could find some more information if you're interested.
Information
Lovely.
About the dragons. Saphyne told me that you two had run-ins with them in Nightstone, and I believe that...
Dragons?
Or excuse me, giants. The giants have... Maxine told me if you're running with them at Nightstone, and you're running with them here, confirms both of our suspicions that their activity is growing increasingly more dangerous. I believe I know someone that you may be able to talk to and learn more about why the giants are doing this. This is no person, but the ancient green dragon I was telling you about last night, Old Gnawbone. She resides in the Crypt Garden Forest northwest of here, excuse me. And she's a very, very wise dragon, very tuned in on everything. I can't even really figure out how, but she always seems to have her claws or talons in something that she shouldn't. If anyone were to know what was going on behind the scenes, she would be the one to go to.
You're suggesting we go talk to a dragons?
Absolutely.
Um,
I'm sorry, are
to
you
tell-
unfamiliar with... Tally, sorry, go ahead.
no, I don't have anything.
And it's just going to eat us.
No.
Or keeps eating.
No. Old Gnawbone is powerful, indeed, but she's also rather eccentric. I don't think that the dragon will harm any of you, especially if you seem intent on ending the giant threat. For while they are risks to us, they are also risks to the dragons, excuse me. Yeah, I could provide you with some things to make your journey safer if you would like.
I'd love that.
Yes,
She-
please.
She hands each of you...
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, she hands each of you a vial. The glass itself is dark green with a thick cork in the top of it, almost like a beaker, but a little broader at the base, a little bulbous. And there's a purplish liquid, sort of bright purple pink. These are potions of poison resistance. Old Gnawbone, famously, is a green dragon, which means her breaths are poison based. If things were to go south, these could help you stave off any incurring threat she would do from that. Although there are several tribes in the area of wood elves, centaurs, other creatures that may be willing to assist you in that journey. And Bergen will make mention that Kolkar lives in the Crypt Garden Forest and may be able to be of some assistance.
Well,
Anything that Old Gnawbone enjoys, perhaps something to give her when we greet her, to show good intent.
It wouldn't hurt to bring a flesh offering, especially if she's in a particularly hungry mood. It may buy you the patience you may need.
She's gonna eat us.
No. She seems intense that no. I'm certain that she won't. I'm willing to bet your lives. I mean, my life on. I'm willing to bet.
so you are as willing to come with us?
Unfortunately,
can
no.
return to
I am a magist. I believe I mentioned this. I'm a guild mage. I'm on assignment here. I must stay within the city. But I would love to hear your story when you return. Next round on me. And she sort of gives a little smile, and unless you guys say anything, she starts to stand up and just consider it while you're out and about. And she makes her way back to her room for her rest.
I don't like that lady.
You asked her to smooch you earlier. And she
Heat of the
slapped you?
moment kind of
You have a mild BDSM relationship with this woman. Like,
It's the heat of the moment kind of thing. All right, come on now.
Saphyne
No.
sort of looks over and smiles, and you boys done helped out the town mighty nice. No, I don't know if we could have held them off without you. I got a couple of things that I don't think I'm going to be selling anytime soon. why don't you boys take these? And she hands you 2 additional vials, one of which she explains is a potion of frost giant strength. By the way, the vials that Maxine held you are potions of poison resistance. I mentioned that earlier, but just to reinforce that. This is a potion of frost giant strength, which basically increases your strength score and therefore all your modifiers for a duration. She also hands you a potion of heroism, which she says will embolden you and make you a little sturdier for your shining moments. And she gives Davos a wink, who sort of blushes and sinks into some bread or pastry or something around him.
You said 4 poison resistance?
There's 1 for each of you, so there's 6.
Oh. Okay.
And then 1 potion of frost giant strength, 1 potion heroism. She particularly eyes Tally and leans in a little closer to him. After seeing you boys in action, I think I might be able to utilize your particular skill sets if it's something you might be interested in.
Well, you've helped me plenty, and certainly everyone in this town, so I don't see why not.
Well, you know them Fae, child. Their tricksy ways. They've plagued the humans around here and the elves, tricking them into wander into the Fae wilds, from which few return. If you lords can help me seal a portal that they've been using to travel between their world and ours, I would be willing to make a very handsome donation to your humble keep. Nightstone?
Correct.
She, sort of leans back and looks a little uncomfortable. You've had your experience in the Fae, son. Have you, ever heard of the Fae?
I believe I have.
Fey apostrophe R-I. Fae. Yeah, well, you surely, and she gestures to Zatari, you know how our kind came to be about. And then she looks and explains to the rest of you. Tieflings are the result of the, torrid love affair between a demon or devil and a human being. But if a demon or devil goes for elven flesh, the result is a Fae. Very similar to tieflings such as myself, but much more darker. Very malevolent. They have ties to not only the dark forces of, typically the paternal line, the demon or the devil. They also have ties to the Fae Queens. And the mad one is one that you have to be worried about. I don't know if the Fae are involved with these portals, but I have my suspicions. If you are willing to, I could provide you with a way to find this portal and the means to seal it.
Well, if it will keep others from a fate like mine, and Tally points to the ash mark that she restored on his forehead, then I don't see any reason I wouldn't go and seal this door.
She reaches around her neck, and you again see layers and layers of necklaces, and she pulls off what appears to be rather simple, as most of these are gemstones or precious metals. It seems like a simple leather cord, and she pulls up a hardened piece of iron that has sort of a blue-purple shine to it. I'm going to drop this in chat so you boys can see it. She tells you that this trinket of hers bloop. It can mend the rips in our realm and put a stop to whatever's causing it, hopefully. The portal that I know of is just south of the Evermoors, east of the High Forest. This particular location, Tally and Goldbrand are somewhat familiar with. Goldbrand has migrated through there. Tally, this is the eastern part of the Northern Wood, an area that you're fairly familiar with. Zatari would also know the Evermoors is the large swamp that's near Silvery Moon. And she sort of slides this across the table to you and gives you a wink and tells you that they are tied up with dark forces. Don't hesitate should one cross your path. But, she stands up and gives you all a general wave and seems to also return upstairs.
What was the location name again? Sorry.
South of the Evermoors. Evermoors. Which she tells you is east of the High Forest.
A little bit north of it, isn't it?
It's like northeastern.
Maybe not too.
It depends.
Although that's-
It depends on which of the two maps you're looking at because they're slightly different. It bugs the crap out of me.
Because Silvery Moon is like north of the High Forest, I thought.
So if the High Forest is here, Silvery Moon's like at the northeastern corner. The Evermoors are a large area of land like beneath it and to the west, I think. I could actually pop. I think we're on the map, are we?
No,
We're on the
not.
other map. I will pop this up because I have some quest markers for you boys too, because y'all are getting some shit. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Is it a good time to take a break?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take 10, and we'll meet back here a little before 11 o'clock. So, you boys finish your chat with Maxine. She hands you this very, I imagine she hands it to Tally, and as you pick it up, it's very heavy, very cold. Feels like cold cast iron. It's rough in your hand, and the light from it is dim. Like, it doesn't exude enough light to where you could light your way by any means, but it's definitely arcane and enchanted through some means. And it's very pretty. Do you just throw that in the bag, or do you put that on, or what you feeling? Sir Taliban.
She's already walked away, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it on.
Gotcha.
I imagine Goblin does something, bro. I don't know. I feel like he gives Taliban like an approving nod, like.
That bitch buying you jewelry. You better get her a Bearcub. Like, he's.
I wasn't kidding about the Bearcubs.
What does that exactly mean? In your tribe.
Warriors has to prove their worth to as worthy breeding stocks, if you wills. Taking a bear cub from its mother, particularly a blue bear cub from its mother, is not an easy feat.
I'd imagine so.
I imagine she would be this impressed. And Goblin like rubs his hand over his face, and he kind of looks around. He says, "Does anybody knows where's gatherings of people's goes to talks and unheards? I guess we could just walk the fields, but I don't know how that would be. The town is repairing itself."
Well, I don't see why we couldn't. We just saved it.
You guys sort of gather up, and Oro sort of has the audience give you a general round of applause as you guys walk out. Davos, a little embarrassed, ducking his head and blushing as he dips out the door. You come into the square, and you see that the city itself did not sustain much damage. It appears that these creatures came in through the weak parts of the walls, gathered what food they could, and just immediately tried to leave before waking anybody. Unsuccessfully, of course. But you do see general people milling about and talking and saying that, "Oh, I lost 3 sows," or "I found my cow by the east gate. You should check there," and just giving each other general, updates about what happened. And you see Liverloss standing at the entryway to the grove, and as he sees you begin to make your way to the center, he unroots himself and begins to crawl over, which many of the townspeople are quite shocked by. Not shocked in the sense that they didn't think he was able, but you gather it's the first time they've ever seen him needed to mobilize in their lifetime, at least. And as he approaches, he goes, "I was wondering when you boys would get up. Stayed out awfully late, so I'm not surprised it was past noon. I'm wondering, you fellers look like you do a good bit of traveling around. I think I know somebody who might be able to help you with your giant problem."
Oh. Goblin looks around at the group, kind of like, we've heard this before.
Another one.
Well, yeah, I will not interrupt him.
Liverloss, you see, I wasn't always this way, an awakened tree like this. Before I was just an old oak. But a moon elf druid named Arglass, he cast a spell that woke me up, and I've been protecting the city ever since. Arglass was a member of the Emerald Enclave, but he's also an adventurer in his day and slew a good many of giants. He left this town, 100 or so seasons ago, on a pilgrimage to Shadowtop Cathedral in the High Forest. It's a sort of a sacred place to his kind. He was going to follow the Dressian River north and then east and seek out an old trench named Turlag at this Shadowtop Cathedral. If you do the same, I bet you'd find him, and he could probably give you some good help as far as thinning out those big boys. Because, I mean, let's be real, I can't follow you around and take care of you all day, can I?
Well, certainly true.
Yeah. Well, his point.
Gives you guys a little chuckle, and Shadowtop Cathedral, top of the Dressian River to the east. And he begins making his way back in. You also see
before he leaves,
Go ahead.
Goblin wants to tell him in Sylvan.
Okay, cool.
Yous are braver than many of the warriors that I have killed. You should be proud. And lets him go on his way.
Says, and I'm and taller than any of your kind too. So just imagine what that does for the ego. And he shuffles his way into the grove.
Yeah, the only thing Goblin says in common is, I fucking hate threes.
I heard that. No. You also see Miros talking to his apprentice Hilgad. They seem to be the blacksmith is in this sort of central part of town, and you see him just giving her some last minute things. He has a cart with a horse beside it that he's loaded up on some of the supplies he needs to start a new forge, basically. That as he sees you, he waves over and he approaches, and about the same time, Oren comes stumbling out of the Night Furrows Inn and comes up, and Miro says, well, lads, I'm ready to hit the road wherever you are. If you need to sort out any business here, you're welcome to. And Oren goes, Davos, I was thinking, this place here isn't as safe as I thought. I think I might tag along with you if that's all right. I could follow you back, help keep the citizens of Nightstone entertained. Maybe we could pick up a friend or two on the way. And he slips Davos a list, which Davos sort of looks at and gives like a little shake to his head. And Oren goes, just if you go across those cities in your travels, there's a few bards there that could make quite good bandmates. And he gives him a wink. But Oren and Miros both seem ready to follow you guys to Nightstone or to wherever else you go. And
That man killed an ogre. I would not say no. That gnome killed an ogre.
halfling.
Halflings.
You see a couple of the guards come out of the chantry, and she's directing them and points over, and you see 2 wagons full of supplies, and she sort of catches a glimpse of you and gives you a wave before carrying on about her business. And the men come up and begin talking to Miros, who they seem to know, and Valkyr, seeing all this, pulls out the map, whoever's holding it, and begins to make a few markers.
Could you take us to that page? I
Yes,
think
sir.
Tally would have it. I imagine it would be in the bag, but maybe not.
Boop. So you guys,
Which thing?
The map, like the in-game, the physical map the characters have.
all
Oh, I
right.
guess it
So
folds up.
there are a few green arrows on your screen, sort of designating where you boys have quests. So you guys are here in Goldenfields at the Red Triangle. This one here in Crypt Garden Forest is for Old Gnawbone from Nexine. This one up here is for Shadowtop Cathedral, to the northeast. That is for the place Liferlast wants to send you. The Pink Arch to the north of the city Yartar is where Saphyne had instructed you to go to seal the Fae portal. There's one down here by Waterdeep, where Z had recommended you check in with the head butler of a noble house there who would give you something. And then one down by Nightstone, where you guys will ultimately take Oren and Miros. And as Valkyr is sort of looking over the map and pointing out these locations and sort of talking through it, he's like, you know what, mates, it really doesn't make much sense. We need to get Miros back as soon as we can. He's got to start working on the key. I cannot go too much longer without a roof over my head. It's driving me nuts. Shit, it's already bad enough that I'm up here on the above world, not the Underdark. But What I need, I'll tell you what. I will escort Miros, Oren, and the supplies back to the city, and you boys can take care of any of these here missions and get whatever booty your hearts come across, provided I still get a cut, of course. Because after all, I am taking the sacrifice here. You get to go have an adventure. I have to sit along and listen to this guy sing the whole fucking trip.
I cannot wait until he has a roof over his head.
Does all children get scrumpies like this when they do not have roofs?
I just shrug at you. Roofless.
Since
It's like, I don't know, bitch. Like...
Unless anyone says otherwise, Valkyrie then begins talking to the guards and the people who are the guards seem to hand over possession of the 2 carts, one of which Oren climbs on and Valkyrie gets at the other, and they begin to head south. They ask you if there's anything you want them to deliver, in case they get back before you, which they likely will.
Do we want to take the dog with us?
I would say take the dog with you. I mean,
Yeah.
Also, I do want to know, I didn't forget, it is sunrise, so the chick would have hatched, but the chick also died just a couple hours before that. So I think I'm going to, if it dies in the dead of night, make you wait the additional sunrise. But if it dies during the day, it's just the next sunrise.
Cool.
So sometime tomorrow that'll hatch. Do you guys have any preference on where you head from this point? You've got 4 different locations in addition to Nightstone that you can check out. We'll try to expedite some things to make it a little quicker.
I believe Waterdeep sounds like the. It's like a whole ass city though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like we're pretty equidistant between those 2. I feel like we could just go clockwise if that's the correct direction.
Yeah.
You could either go clockwise, start at Waterdeep and go up, or you could start at Shadowtop Cathedral, come down, and then that would put you closer to Nightstone at the end of it. Or you could just say, I don't want to hit this one or this one. Let's just do this one and this one. Or you guys can go to Nightstone and come back to these if you would like. You do have that option as well.
That was originally what I was thinking, but I don't know what everyone else was.
One of them is, literally on your way home. You have to go through Waterdeep to get to Nightstone. But if you guys want to get some of the booty or stuff that comes from the other 3, you're welcome to do that as well.
While the group's like wandering through the city, discussing these things, he's gonna look at Tyler and he's gonna say, I imagine you really would like to get to that portals the blue ones was talking about.
Well, I think I would, but all in good time, friend.
Bergen expresses some interest in the cathedral that the tree mentioned, and also mentions that one's the furthest east. Yeah, it's in the high forest next to the Lost Peaks. And Davos would probably express some interest in meeting another dragon. Not necessarily either one trying to pull you to those 2, but just how I think their characters react. Yeah.
Devin shrugged. Still talking to Talib, and he'll ask, do you see any reasons to return to the cities before we goes? I know that we may not need to, because we don't use those things, but he shrugs. Valkyrie has afforded us an opportunities, and I believe that we should investigate as soon as we are able.
I'd agree. It's as I said, the sooner we close that gate, the sooner others like myself don't end up with voices in the head.
All right, so there's only 3. There's only. Go ahead.
So that one sounds like the most pressing issue, so I feel like we should do that one first.
Okay, the Fae portal.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my vote, at least.
I mean,
So
I feel like Taliban is enough concerned about it. The Goblins okay, we should go to get this thing done.
no, yeah.
My friend hers kind of fucked up now.
So what we're gonna do here is I'm going to expedite some of this, and what by that I mean I'm not gonna describe these cities and stuff unless you guys want to stop in which case I will just say, what do you if you want to stop by and get X, Y, or Z, we'll just do that real quick. We won't even role play it. We'll just do that and continue on the journey. So does anyone have anything they want to stop for along the way? You pass through Red Lark, Tribor, and Yatar.
Gobrand does want to use a long rest during the journey to finish his armor.
Okay.
Or, well,
You
rolls
have
to
plenty
finish
of
his
time
armor.
for that, so go ahead and do that, and you can equip it. You have now Centipede Chitin
What's the other
armor. The other one was Wasp. And you guys see
No, I'm
that
sorry, what was the other roll? Never mind. Go ahead. Just keep going.
you have enough long rests to where you can work on this. You would finish it by the time you finish, even with 2 nat 1s somehow. Oh no, one of those is Talibin. Excuse me. Oh, and that was from earlier. Never mind. So
Yeah,
you
don't do that to me.
you guys see that he has fashioned this this very impressive looking armor. It doesn't cover his whole body. Neither did his previous armor. He sort of had wasp thorax on his arms and on his knees, giving him almost like bracers. But this almost looks like some type of, for lack of a better word, like a Japanese kind of plate mail that's sort of layered and comes down the arm on both sides. Also sort of a wide chitin around the sides and then leading down over which, of course, is... are your sword is strapped at your back or is it at your hip?
On my back.
On his back.
It's too big. Yeah.
You right? So has an impressive new set of armor. You also see that his where his fists are, he's taken the mandibles of the centipedes and put them on to where now his unarmed strikes deal an additional 1d4 poison damage. I'll send you a formal write-up of that in a bit. But so you got
So
some.
Gobrand's just gonna start punching shit to poison it.
I think you also have. It doesn't make them make a Constitution save or anything, but it does deal poison
Yeah.
damage. Let me look at one quick thing, because
What kind of armor is that? What do I need to change my armor class?
the
to?
centipede armor also grants you advantage on intimidation rolls, and it is a DC. It's one above what you are now. I think a 13.
Yeah. So it's 14 now.
Yeah,
Just +1.
it's not +1 armor, but it's 1 up from where you were. As you guys
A
are,
tier up from what I was.
if it was hide,
I'll look here in a minute.
I was about to say it's it. I've got it somewhere. Oh, it's on your character page. I'll look it up real quick. Tally, since you have the biggest PP, are you in your thing? Centipede is 13.
Eh?
Are you in your Are you in D&D Beyond? Sorry, words.
No, I am not.
Okay.
My internet is totally not responding.
Gotcha.
As
We're
far as like web pages.
We're gonna have you roll some perception checks. Devin, the giant centipede
you.
is a 13. It's the equivalent to a chain shirt.
Change shirt. Thank you. I'm gonna use that perception for Tally.
I was about to
What do you
roll it.
want?
I'm just gonna do 3. It's actually a good journey to that point. The Fae portal is about. If you guys want to do a fast pace, it's 6 days. Otherwise, it's 9. What do y'all think about that?
I'm not sure that's a great idea.
I mean, it's a pretty good ways away. He rolled fairly well on all of those. Are you saying it's not a good idea to go? Are you wanting to change that? Or?
I feel like it's not a good idea to go to fast pace. I'm sorry. So
Okay, gotcha. So 9 days. So at the end of the second day, Tally, you're sort of in your makeshift tent at the end of camp one night, and you're restlessly just sort of running through the night's events, the week's events, trying to pin down why you were sent to Goldenfields. You think there's so many coincidences about it, where Zephyros picked you up, just happened to find you guys, and bring you to the place where you were needed to defend the city, where without you, might have fallen. And you're sort of exhausted from traveling all day and drained, and you swear that you catch a glimpse of the drow in your peripheral. You turn and no one's there, but as you turn back to look up at the top of your tent, you see hovering above you once more is the drow that Zaphyne had referred to. Eyes closed and smiling as he or she always has been. A warm voice once again enters your mind. You continue to impress, Lord Talabant. Zaphyne thanks you for your obedience and has instructed me to reward you with knowledge and boon alike. You should know that you and your friends saved the city not from destruction, but from starvation. Had you not been present to defend the city and its crops, the giants would have raided much of the city's supply, which in turn would have caused famine not only here, but across North Faerun. This would have weakened the armies of men and led to crushing defeats at the hands of the giants. Zaphuhiri, in her wisdom, saw this, and that is why you were sent here. They extend a long, lithe arm and place it just inches from your eyes. And with a light swirl, feel a small breeze puffed at you in the face and buffer you, and you feel the ash on your forehead dissipate. You panic for a moment, expecting the voices to return as they did when Saphyne removed it, but you hear no such clamor. Instead, you simply feel presences all around you. Rees, your friends, a few creatures lying on the outskirts of the woods. Ree tilts their head and the smile grows a bit on their face. You have been entrusted with a great gift, Talivant. No more will Zaphuhiri plague your mind with the thoughts of others, but instead allow you to pry loose those secrets of your own bidding. But relieving this curse laid upon you is not the only reason I am here. With a small flourish of the same hand, a familiar pink-purple dagger appears within his grasp. Having grown more familiar with your own Kai Kurim, you see that theirs is different. It's a slight curve to the blade, resulting in a wicked edge and a point, longer, more elegant, and intricate. They carefully position it over your bicep on the opposite arm that she had struck a few weeks ago. He gently pushes the blade into your skin. No blood spurts from the wound, but you feel the familiar creep of pain crawl up your neck and into your head, an attack on your very nervous system. While the pain is intense, you feel a mental fortitude that you did not possess a month ago, and you manage to merely wince without breaking eye contact, or as much eye contact as you can have with the visage that would appear to be asleep. As Ree pulls the blade out, you sense a familiar bit of energy lingering within your arm. And as you summon up a Kai Kurim of your own, you notice that it's keener, more refined. It is deeper in color than before. I know that you have many questions, as I did too when I was first taken under the wings of Zaphuhiri. Please, why don't you sate your curiosity and ask me anything that may come across your mind.
What were you doing in the Feywild?
For lack of a better term, reconnaissance. I was looking into something that Zaphuhiri had suspected. It's much easier for me to come and go from the Feywild than it is for Zaphuhiri. Draws too much attention, as you can understand.
And Zaphuhiri herself. Will I meet with her?
Perhaps. Eventually. Most of our correspondence is done in the way that I am speaking to you now, telepathically, but I have been graced with her presence a few times.
And her vision for the land, what is it?
And here is where things get tricky. You see, I can only inform you of so much. Not for Zaphuhiri's sake, or for my sake, but for the sake of the realm. Were you to be aware of some such pieces at play, you would alter your decision-making. If I tell you what Zaphuhiri seeks, would change your future actions, and thus the path that you have been set on.
Well, in that case, I thank you and
But
the
of
lady
course.
herself, wherever she may be. Find me again when I'm promoted from errand boy.
Oh, you may not know it, but you have risen quite swiftly through the ranks. Zaphuhiri does not collect many followers. Yet you have been a remarkable addition. Have you any other questions for me?
Who gave you Kaikarim?
Exceptional question. Zaphuhiri blessed me with it herself. But I had to endure something much more intense than a maddening headache, we'll call it. But that you will learn more about the next time we meet. I will say one more thing. Leave you with one final insight. Make no mistake. Nothing and no one at all is how they appear to be. And Zaphuhiri is no friend of the Fae. And she dissipates into almost like a TV going off, the black fading to the white on an old tube screen, a flash of purple before gone. And you once again are alone within your tent. You gain the telepathic feat, and your soul knives are now considered +1 weapons. So,
Fuck yeah.
yeah, fun shit. You can fix that under customize. If you can't, let me know, and I will gladly do it for you.
I'll take the note now, and then I'll adjust it whenever I get access to my
Gotcha.
internet.
As you guys continue on about your way, somewhere toward the end of your journey, you have passed through Yatar, and have crossed over the northern side of the Dressium. As you have done this, you've been aware that you've sort of... Liferlas told you to follow the river northward, which you have, until it splits off to the east, and to follow it there. And about that point where the rivers come together to make one and head towards the ocean, as you cross over, you begin to smell... The wind shifts a bit. And it reveals the revolting stench of rotting flesh. You hasten your pace a little bit, and you come across an expansive battlefield with dozens of Uthgard barbarians, corpses from the elk tribe, as well as 3 deceased frost giants. The scene is gruesome, and judging by the state of decay, seems to have taken place 2 or 3 days ago. Carrion birds and a couple of wolves pick at the carcasses. As you approach, they flee off into the woods. Bergen, in particular, feels his stomach knot at the sight of death, once again at the hands of frost giants. And Golbrand, you feel a little, almost too familiar with the sight of your tribesmen, even though they are not of your tribe, the sight of Uthgard's people lying on the battlefield. Give Tally and Bergen, Tally and Davos, I'm wrong, Tally and Golbrand, please give me a perception check.
Help.
Oh,
I got you.
gotcha. I was about to say, oh god, that's right.
I got you. Hoppo.
21. 17, nice. Golbrand, as you take in the scene...
Golbrand's seen all this shit before.
Yeah, you take in
minus
this...
the giants.
Yeah, well, your people have had skirmishes with giants, perhaps. Nothing that escalated to anything like this, but you have migrated for... Much of the area you migrate is occupied by stone giants or hill giants. And usually there's sort of with stone giants, there's a mutual respect to where you don't tend to mess with each other. Hill giants might be aggressive at some point, but you guys have always managed to fend them off and scare them off before they've caused much trouble. But as you look over the battlefield, you're assessing the signs of battle. You see where the giants seem to have approached from, where your tribesmen sort of rushed out and seem to have done clash with them. But you also see, up in the tree line, just on the edge of the wood, a small outcropping of trees, you see a body within a tree, clutching a wound at their side.
Do they human? Seem to be barbarian?
They seem to be Uthgard. With the 21, I'd say they do appear to be dressed in similar clothes, but they're somewhat hidden within the branches of the tree.
I don't know. Golbrand won't really say anything, but he will keep his eyes on them if they try to move or escape, or he would like to ascertain if they're armed.
I mean, you could pretend as if you were assessing the battlefield and get closer. And make another perception check, of course. Oh, another 21. Damn. All right. Now that you're closer, you see it's definitely an elk barbarian. Uthgard, of course, female, seems to be very wounded, and is looking on at you uncertainly. Doesn't seem to be in any hostile state. Very much, like I said, is clutching a wound and trying to remain hidden, but doesn't seem hostile at all, I'll say.
Yuskans leaves this place of deaths. I believe no one's here is interested in stopping Zeus. He's gonna continue on his way.
Do you say that in common and...
Oh, he'll say Bali. I don't think it really...
Okay. You hear a very weak, dry laugh. Trust me, if I could leave this place, I certainly would. And, you see her sort of shakily make her way down the tree, and now that she's descended from it, you see a broad gash at her side that has been packed with plant matter and covered with mud. And with your perception check, I will see that you see that the area around the wound is dark, seems to be infected, is not doing well. And she tells you, trust me, I did not intend to end up like the rest of my tribesmen, but I was either climb up there and bide my time or let the wolves finish me off.
So, Devin's first question is if Golbrand thinks he can cure wounds
Make a medicine check.
I was about to say, if he can't fix it, he's gonna say something different.
It looks pretty bad. If you
Bergens, will you come and look at this, please? Is it something that I can help with? And then he'll reach up and he'll put his hand on his sword and he'll look back at the barbarian and he'll say, I can give you a death that Uthgarth would admire, if that is what you wish.
Bergen's like, whoa, dude, okay, calm down a little bit. I don't think that's the help she needs. Let me just check some stuff out here. And Bergen sort of hesitantly makes her way up to her. She seems very, while she was willing to hesitantly accept your intervention as an Uthgard, she seems much more suspicious of Bergen. But Bergen, hey, it's all right. It's cool. My name's Bergen. How you doing? Stonespire's the last name. Don't know if you know any Stonespires. By this point, yes, the phoenix has hatched, and once again, a small bird nuzzled on his shoulder. And Bergen's gonna make a medicine check. A 20.
Medicine. A medicine man.
That is the medicine man. Yeah, that's fair.
He is the cleric.
Medicine man. He looks at it, and he's sort of like, I don't know, this is pretty bad. I can try some things though. And he sort of like removes one of his gauntlets and stretches out his hand, and
he says, Goblin says, "Well, I can do this. I don't want to lean on you."
Well, it's something that I don't think, and I don't mean any offense by this. I don't know if your level of magic can heal it. I'm gonna try a lesser restoration and see if I can mend this. And he's gonna cast lesser restoration.
Cool.
He places his hand on it, and you watch as some of the darkness resides a little bit, but is still present. Now that she's down on the ground and you've taken a moment to assess her, you see her lips are chapped. She's very pale. There are other wounds upon her body. You think that there might be a fracture in her leg, on her femur. One of her arms is not limp, but she seems to have pulled a muscle or something and is very strained in using it. And while his lesser restoration fixes some of those smaller things, while she can move her arm a little better, and while she can breathe a little easier, it does not seem to have mended the wound to a great place, but has definitely improved her state. She thanks him Um, it's not often I get help from outsiders, or even other tribesmen, for that matter. She sort of darts her eyes over to you, and you get that she recognizes you as a blue bear based on your tattoos and your, the bear that you wear and the overall theme you got going on.
I've killed enough of Uthgard's people to be sated for a lifetime.
You were willing to kill me a second ago. You sure about that?
Knows. He'll clap her on the shoulder, cast Cure Wounds, and then he's gonna go if he thinks she's. Oh, even if he doesn't think she's gonna make it, he's done the best he can, and he's gonna leave.
Bergen sort of lingers, and the rest of you have sort of noticed that he's been not fixated on the frost giants, but just sort of taking it in, and you gather it's almost been tactical. He's looking for where these Uthgard hit these giants, where they seem to have bled the most, where they are vulnerable. While the giants that you guys fought were hill giants, very flabby, stocky, about 16 feet tall. Frost giants are much larger, closer to 24 feet. More muscle and cold blue flesh, bushy white hair, armor made of metal and horns and leather, and wielding enormous weapons, axes, swords, giant spears that are probably 30 feet in length. I mean, it's almost, given the one giant that you guys took down, it's almost unreal how much bigger these are. And he begins to ask her questions about it. Why did the frost giants attack you guys? I don't understand this. What had happened? And she says that the giants came to the tribe, seeking a man named Kimber. Only a few of the elders in the tribe had ever even heard of him. He was one of the few outlanders we actually did business with, traded, not only because of, but only because of the power that he possessed. But even that was over 100 seasons ago. I've not seen him since. They thought him dead, and I never even knew he existed until this exchange happened. The giant had a red stone within his grasp. He was furious that we didn't have such a person. However, one of the elders, who was not killed initially in the giant attack, but died from her wounds not long after, she told me that one of my sisters in the tribe, an older woman, another elder, had borne a child of this Artus. She believes that while the giant was seeking Artus Kimber, that she had found his son instead. Unfortunately, he's now deceased. Unlikely to get any information from him. The giants have been exceptionally hostile. Just a few months ago, the fire giants raided our burial mound at Flint Rock and killed a few of us there.
Cole Prince stands up real straight.
You know what's buried at those mounds. So did they. And they got what they came for. She looks over at the rest of you. While I don't know the details of what artifact was there, I do know it was a fragment of a giant buried there some time ago, after Uthgard first went to war with the Pale Giants.
He looks at Zatari and he says, they were digging up pieces of that thing they made you build. They are buried under a number of the tribe's mounds.
Pretty gross, actually.
It
When you
gives
say
power.
fragment of a giant, you mean like a toe?
Some of them. There are some giants that heads or hearts were taken, but sometimes weapons, sometimes fragments of their tools. Various things. There are many such mounds across Faerun. His people have one. My people had one, as did all of the other tribes of Uthgard's children. I don't know if any of the others have been attacked, but that was the first run-in we had with giants. So when we found these, our numbers already thinned from the fire giant attack. We didn't stand a chance. At least we took a few of the bastards with us. And she spits toward one of the nearby giant corpses. I thought that this would help
So
me.
do I take that to mean that she's the last one, or like
She
they
seems to be the
wiped out
last.
a whole tribe?
She seems to believe that she was the only one who survived the attack. If you ask her if there's other members of her tribe, she shrugs. I can hope, but I feel like it would be a fool's errand. Uthgard has left me a dying breed. She looks.
I guess she's probably not. She look young.
Youngish. I would say maybe low 30s, upper 20s.
You may not remember, but perhaps when you were a child, my tribes was just a myths, and now we own a stand again.
Oh no, I know of your people, disappearing into the high forest for decades, centuries, maybe. Well before our elders' times. And when you emerged, you did cause quite a stir. Not to mention that you tended to wander through some of our lands in the summer. But our leader was wise enough to avoid conflict. What was that, Devin?
Goldberg just think he's gonna be their lands now. As soon as he lets the fucking tribe know that this whole fucking tribe's gone.
It won't take the neighboring tribes long to figure it out either. She sort of looks at Bergen and lifts up part of her the furs that she dons, deerskin, and you see she has an armband on her arm with a giant rune etched in it, very similar to the runes that you already possess. She pries it off her arm. I took this off the body of one of the giants left behind. Thought it would do me some good, but I lay rotting in this tree until you came. So I suppose this would repay part of my life debt. And
Sirius, real happy to see it.
Oh yeah, if you fold it up to Sirius, he's like all honed into it. Has a very familiar, He'll
take it from her. He'll
one
take
second.
it from her just 'cause he wants to hand it off to someone else. If it looks like his, he's gonna assume it does the same thing and hand it to Bergen or Taliban. Tali, do you have dark vision?
Actually, give me 2 seconds. I'm sorry.
What?
You have dark vision?
I do.
I thought so. Because I thought briefly that Bergen should take the ring from me because I can light myself up. He should take the circlet of dark vision or whatever. But we'll see. He's not here because I've been meaning to ask him about that.
You actually,
do you have dark vision? Tieflings? Yeah.
tieflings I think do.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll see it.
as she hands you this circlet, Zatari, you recognize it immediately, and you instinctively touch your neck. This is the very same rune that you have seared onto the on the base of your spine. And Zephyros had named it to you, the life rune, which I think is live, but I'm going to confirm that. Live, yes. She holds it out toward Bergen, who takes it and sort of gestures to see if anybody particularly wants it.
I'll hold on to that.
You say hold on to it. Do you put it on? Do you just leave it? Or like put it in a pouch?
How would I be able to put it on?
It was an armband. Originally, it was a giant armband, but the thing about magical things is they resized whoever's wearing them. So when she had pried it off of his arm, it had shrunk down to her size. And same for you. While her arms were a little more lithe, it seems to sort of shimmer a bit, and its shape contorts a bit as it sort of fits around your arm and closes in towards snug and not going to
Yeah, I was
slip
about to
loose.
say, if you put it up here, it'll be matching Cobra. He's wearing a tiara that way.
um,
So I'll do that.
which also has a rune. You feel as the armband tightens around you, you feel empowered a little bit. You feel a little sturdier. You're a fighter, yes?
Yes, sir.
So you have a D10 for your hit die?
I believe so.
Your max hit points go up by 15 points.
Ooh.
This is an armband with the life rune that provides whoever wears it 1.5 times their hit die in additional hit points. So if you have a D8, it gives you 12. If you have a D10, it gives you 15, so on and so forth.
Yeah, you benefit probably one of the most of us from that then.
How do I? Can I change that? It's not letting me
I'll fix it for you later. If you want for now, you can just remember that you have 15 temporary hit points.
Everybody getting cool shit.
You right though, boo. This is phase 2 of the Nicolella cinematic universe plan.
We are level 5 now. It's time for like world breaking shit. We're gonna be gods in 5 levels.
You're not wrong. She looks at you, and sees that you seem she smiles a bit, knowing that you seem to like the item that she had to offer. She didn't really understand much of what it did, and it wasn't seeming to help with her disease. No, she had it on her arm, and while it gave her extra hit points, it wasn't stopping the fact that she was literally dying from infection. But seems a little better now. She grumbles that I'm gonna make my way back to the mount. Meditate there. See if any of my people arrive. I don't know what else to do at this point. And see her snap one of the branches off the tree. Begin to use it as not quite a crutch, but a walking stick, and begin to make her way.
Colin gives her a javelin. He has like 6 or 7 of them.
She pulls aside the skins again and reveal a bow and arrow at her that are sort of hidden beneath them, a quiver at the hip, and a bow that is unstrung, but short bow behind her back, as well as a dagger made of bone on her hip. I'll take the javelin, but it would be foolish to think of me as helpless. And
if there's none of you's left, you can go to Nightstones. Seems to collect peoples with nowhere else to go.
Nightstone.
He'll give her the best directions he can give as a barbarian.
You explain to her south where the river heads west toward the ocean. You cross it through the forest. You will find a shattered citadel, is how as it was originally described to you. Now mended citadel. Well, working on it. A mostly shattered citadel.
Much like you.
Mostly shattered. You're not wrong. Like for real. She nods a bit and looks a little uncertain, but I may do just that. The name is Mira, by the way.
Doop.
Mira, for anyone who would like it. And she begins to make her way
actually
south.
does not introduce himself. He's gonna continue on his way. No,
Thank you.
that's rude.
Thank you for
That's
your
okay.
help, First Claw. As she wanders off. I should say, those tattoos told a little bit more about you than you might have.
He's just gonna keep walking.
Right. You boys continue and eventually arrive at. You carry on for another day's worth of travel after that. And just before nightfall, Tally, you feel a tug as the piece of iron, Saphyne's trinket around your neck, has lifted up and began pointing off into the side toward the same thicket of trees that your friend had wandered in several miles south. Do you choose to follow it? Do you choose to...
My friend had wandered in? Who?
Mira, the barbarian that you were just speaking to, she had wandered into the same like segment of woods several miles to the south. You guys had continued traveling for a couple of hours before. It's about late evening, late afternoon. I would say like 6-ish, 7-ish o'clock. The sun's not. It's not quite full dusk yet, but it's getting close.
Okay. I'm just gonna gather everybody or find them wherever they're at. Where are we at? Like camp, or are we still walking?
You're walking at this point. Yeah, you haven't quite ended
Oh,
your
yeah.
day's travel.
I'm gonna point to the necklace like, I think she gave me a fucking magnet.
Basically.
She is following us.
I think we're following the necklace.
It. Oh. Is that woman's is just a little bit scary, but fuck it, I guess. Don't keep following Taliban.
I mean, she don't like Fae. You don't like Fae. It seems to work out. Let me go to the right segment here. You push your way, or I'm sorry, are you choosing to pursue it, or?
Yep.
Okay. You push your way deeper into the forest through the first early thickets of trees, and continue on for some time. About 30 to 45 minutes after, you gather you've traveled at least a mile into the forest now. You come to a strange clearing, and you see it up ahead, and suddenly Sirius gives a low growl. Some of his leaves start to rise up on end. You see ahead in this clearing is a ring of mushrooms. Perfectly circular, seemingly mundane, although Sirius doesn't seem to think so. What do you do?
Everyone crosses himself. Or the Baltic equivalent.
I'm just gonna like draw Kaikaram and toss it into the ring.
As it goes into the ring, there's a weird shimmer, and it disappears.
Gobran takes a rock out of his pouch as he wants me to thrice.
I think this is our gate into the Feywild.
Oh. Looks panickedly at Bergen to talk sense into Taliban.
Do you throw your
Saphyne,
rock, or
did she?
do you throw your rock, Goldbrand, or no?
Taliban doesn't say so. He's not going to do it.
No. Saphyne never gave us direct instructions on how to destroy this, did she?
No. Right now, you just the amulet is continuously just erect at this point, just pointing straight at the circle. Not pulling you forcefully, but the road is taut.
Does you think say different kinds of magics would be better? Can I make a comment in my hand? Do I have to throw it? Like, if he wouldn't know how to say that, he would just want to show it to him.
Well, frankly, I don't see why we can't just pick these mushrooms and be done with it.
You don't think you would go the same ways as the knives if you approached?
It only disappeared when it was fully in, right?
I mean, it seemed to vanish. It didn't come out on the other side. It didn't. Yeah, once it got right above the mushrooms, there was like a shimmer in the air, and it seemed to disappear. It's almost like you blinked and you missed it, but you didn't.
Tally will draw an arrow from his quiver, just in his hand, not with the bow, and try to poke one of the mushrooms.
A hand emerges and grasps onto it.
I grabbed Taliban.
No. There's the shimmer that was once subtle and faint grows red-violet and seems almost like a blazing bonfire within the forest. Slowly being smothered, bit by bit, darkening, dimming. A grayed hand has latched onto your arrow and is clinging to the edges. And a second follows, tearing apart the portal as it steps out. Gray-skinned, horned, dark hair, seemingly male creature steps through. Matches Saphyne's description of the Fae. Large, glowing eyes, long, knife-like ears, much longer than normal elves, large, hooked wings, and a firm, chitinous-looking tail, almost resembling a scorpion's. A long black steel rapier with glowing lines of red and purple energy run down the blade. It's held tightly within his other hand. He possesses both a terrible beauty, both handsome and fearsome simultaneously, and a wicked grin curls on his lips, revealing a maw of razor-like teeth. Before he lunges toward you, Tally, with impossible speed.
Man.
It is 10 till midnight. I am going to be a good DM and ask you guys if you want to play through this encounter or if you want to go ahead and call it a night. I'll drop
I'm
him
ready
in.
for bed, honestly.
That's cool. I'm going to drop a picture of him in chat real quick, just so you can see what you've pissed off. And
We love that.
your first glimpse of Fae Ree. Devin, have you read anything on them? Because they're not really used much in the main storyline of stuff.
I have not. I don't know anything about those.
They're it seems like they were used in some of the series of books, but we're not like particularly prolific. This image is almost uploaded. I'm sorry, it's trying.
Oh.
Whoa.
We will go ahead and call it a night there. I will say one more thing. As he grips onto the arrow and smiles at you, before he quite draws out, you see from the trees around 2 dryads emerge as well. Reddish energy instead of the normal green that you associate with dryads. It seemed to be persuaded somehow, perhaps magically, perhaps through other means, to side with this creature. So you boys gonna have a fun time
Everyone
next
wants
week.
to throw a rock at it.
I was hoping you would throw the rock earlier because he was gonna catch the rock, like it was gonna be.
Oh, shit.
Well, I was gonna suggest Goblin was gonna throw a rock like at a mushroom,
Mhm.
like so that no one had to get close enough to it. But like, all's well that ends well.
Yeah.
We get to fight these things. I'm gonna try to burn the dryads. Don't know if they're resistant to or vulnerable to fire or not, but I'm gonna find out instead of looking
Yes.
it up.
Yes, we will.
Attaboy. All right, my dudes. Hope all of you have a wonderful week. I'm glad we got to play tonight. I was not expecting it to pan out, so I'm glad it did. You boys have taken your first bite into what is really the sandbox section of this journey. So, I mean,
Sand.
it's coarse and irritating, and it gets everywhere. You boys have after you deal with your situation here, you have many options you can take. So sometime this week, I'm going to try to drop these options in sort of a bullet list in chat. Think about what you want to go to next. If you don't mind commenting, like, I'm thinking of after this, I want to go to this one, or I want to go to this one. Just so I have all of these prepped more or less, but just to give me something to focus on.
Sweet.
Other than that, boys, stay safe. We love you. And is it Friday yet?
Yeah.
Later, dudes.
Goodbye.
Talk to you later.